up, everybody? Welcome to Middays with Marks. 97.5, the Fanatic. What up, everybody? A Thursday. We've almost made it. Almost made it to the Eagles and the 49ers as we welcome in. He was on the call last night of Temple's big victory over Simon Gratz High School. East Carolina. His name is Ray Dunn.
7 in a row, Johnny Marks. 7 in a row.
Oh. I was watching when LeBron Frames hit a 3. In the
that was a lot last night. I think there were 5 of them.
Well, did he have 5?
Yeah.
How about that? Well, I saw that. I watched for like good 10 minutes. Enjoyed the call.
Thank you.
You and Fran Dunphy on the call.
It's a good time.
Oh, you're with Dumph. Good morning to Ray Dunn. And good morning to a fellow JM in the studio. Not John Marks, Jason Martinez. Hello, Jason.
It's the the M as the first initial of the last name.
It was
Martinez, Mays, Marks,
Jody Mack.
Sean Race. Jody Mack back at the track.
It was another JM.
Yeah.
When he was here. Jody always used to say JM. I'd say JM. JM.
Yeah. Good to be here.
Yeah, man. It's one of the reasons I hear this from a lot of people when I'm out. They like the rotating co-host because it gives a fresh perspective. If I'm working with you 5 days a week, they already know what you think about the Eagles and Niners. They already know. Yeah, I can't wait to chop it up with you talking about what you think about the game. But before we do that, you were driving in and you hit me up with a text message because we had an idea what we were going to start with, but you heard something that piqued your interest that John Kincade said. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's funny because I actually was thinking about this topic prior, and then, as luck would have it, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Right. John mentioned it, and Andrew chimed in on it. Andrew Checo chimed in on it as well regarding Nick Sirianni, and I was like, oh, Ray pulled this audio because I think it's a fascinating discussion.
All right, let's do it. This morning, here is – do we start with the Jalen Hurts cut?
No, we clip that out.
All right, so this is John Kincaid's talking about the disrespect of Nick Sirianni. Listen.
Nick Sirianni, by the way, gets treated in this town a lot of times very disrespectfully.
He absolutely does. I'm glad you said that.
And he is, I think, completely respectful.
Always.
I've never seen him.
Sometimes he talks too much.
But I've never seen him answer disrespect with respect.
I think Nick Sirianni, for all he's accomplished, is immensely disrespected
I would agree.
in this city.
And
I really do.
And I've never seen him feel the need to be snippy, disrespectful, anything like that.
He never is.
So they're responding to Jalen Hurts giving a very short answer at a press conference. And I would agree, Nick does a good job of trying to be thoughtful with his answers. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's what he's actually trying to do. Because most of the time when he's talking, you forget what the question that was answered because he's just talking in circles and he won't shut up. One of the reasons why I don't like to have the midweek press conferences with Nick Sirianni, I don't even
get nothing out of it.
Be 5 minutes in, I'm like, well, hold on, what's going on? Has he said anything yet? But I appreciate the fact that he does. I think he likes talking and he likes talking about football, and this is a way for him just to ramble and ramble and ramble. Because Chip Kelly used to give you nothing. He was disrespectful to the media. He was snippy.
Jerk.
He's a total jerk. Nick is not that at all.
No.
Nick is very respectful for the media. Always has been. So it's one of the qualities I do like about Nick Sirianni. And so the question is he disrespected? Nick Sirianni, Super Bowl winning coach, been to 2 of 3 Super Bowls. Is Nick Sirianni disrespected? And not only disrespected, but it seems like John and Andrew were saying, like, really disrespected in this.
Yeah. Game. I mean, look at his accomplishments, and you can look at his resume, and I think Andrew said, well, you pulled 2023 out. Well, we're not going to pull 2023 out because it's part of the record. We don't get to do that. Yeah, you don't get to take your worst thing out.
Can I take 2024 out then if I take 2023
Exactly.
out?
Like that.
I can't.
Some people will try and make that argument when they're giving you players' numbers. Well, if you take out that great year he had, he only did this. Well, he did have the great year. So you can't take it out. But he's got a .694 winning percentage, which isn't good. It's historically good.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. But a lot of people, if you put, gun to head to a lot of Eagle fans right now and said, hey, would you rather have John Harbaugh? Or would you rather hire Coach X to coach the Eagles over Nick Sirianni? There's a lot of people that would think about it that don't have a .694 winning percentage,
right,
and a Super Bowl under their belt, a win, and another Super Bowl appearance in just 5 seasons. So his resume kind of speaks for itself. But the thing that makes it difficult with Sirianni is I think sometimes a lot of people have a hard time putting their finger on his personality. And he doesn't call plays. What is he accountable for? I think that's a hard element to put your finger on sometimes. Because this year it's been exacerbated with Kevin Patullo.
Yep.
And we go, well, Nick Sirianni should just call plays. Well, he did. He wasn't very good at it.
Right.
So
But if he was a defensive coach, no one would talk about that kind of stuff because he's a defensive coach. Now,
they don't do that with McDermott, do they?
It would be, but they don't win. That's the only thing they talk about with McDermott. But
Yeah.
The only thing with that would be when you're a defensive head coach, you have to constantly be bringing in new offensive coordinators, and you're not able to step in and call plays.
Yeah.
Sirianni's essentially the same. He might as well be a defensive coach. He doesn't step in and call plays.
Well, he has
They have
nothing to do with the D, though. Vic Fangio's like, dude, I'm coming, but you got to stay away.
And it worked with Jim Schwartz and Doug.
Uh-huh.
You leave the defense up to the defensive
Jim
coordinator.
Johnson and Andy Reid.
Yep. Alpha defensive coordinator.
Yep.
I'm going to let you handle your business. I'm going to stay out of it. So it actually works if you can get the right offensive coaching in here. It really is. Ray and I have talked about this. I don't know how many times. Sirianni's a really, really weird case, as is Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Except Jalen Hurts actually plays on the field and has played the games. But you can't take away from Nick Sirianni the success that he's had. And you have to, like, when we ask the question, is he disrespected? I think the answer is yes. But I also don't think that it's wrong that some people feel a certain way about Nick Sirianni. To your point about John Harbaugh, if you think, and I don't really think anybody believes this with John Harbaugh. I know that Nick Wright and some other people have said, oh, but they lose in the playoffs, the Eagles are going to think. They're not firing Nick Sirianni for John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh's not coming to Philadelphia, nor should the Eagles even think about that.
Yeah, he'd have to defecate on the owner's desk. That's it. That's the only way. And it's got to be like after Taco Bell. There's no way he's getting canned.
He's not getting canned. Even if they lose their first playoff game, he's not. And it's silly and stupid to even say that.
Yeah.
But so I guess we would have to get what are people saying? And I'm just going to leave it up for our audience on the text line and the phone lines. Jason, we have a nice long segment here where we can get some phone calls at 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. Text line, phone line to what do you think of Nick Sirianni? And if people call in and say, well, he's a total idiot and he doesn't deserve any respect and he doesn't deserve any credit for what the Eagles are doing.
Then who does?
That's disrespectful because what he's doing is working.
Yeah, I mean, look, the fact of the matter is this. He's been handed a very good roster year in and year out. The GM has done a phenomenal job. And I don't say that lightly because I was not a Howie Roseman fan before. I thought he was a weasel.
Well,
and I didn't think he was the guy that could properly evaluate talent. And he was always good with the contracts because he trained at the knee of Joe Banner.
he's gotten better at all that stuff.
He's a Hall of Fame GM.
Yep.
He may be the best. He's the best GM in my lifetime in any sport in the city.
You'd have to go back to the Flyers, right? In the 70s.
Allen? Yeah, I mean, no, because that didn't have a salary cap.
I know.
So the way he is able to manipulate that cap in a league that's parity-driven is really hard to do.
Yeah, I mean.
And he's done it with multiple quarterbacks.
I think we figured out that really Jeffrey Lurie is the MVP of doing that because if you're willing to give money up front, you can just give these bogus contracts. But the point of the matter is.
Well, Lurie's an A-plus owner, too.
He sure is, but Howie was the Eagles were ahead of the curve with Joe Banner for his warts that he had, and they were there.
Capologist.
He knew what he was doing with the salary cap. And then Howie, in the more modern salary cap, said, yeah, this isn't real as long as we put up big contracts. They were the first to be doing these roster bonuses and redoing the contracts.
Shuffling money.
Right. The owner needs to pay money to do that. But what you said, and when it's like, okay, how important is Nick Sirianni? And I give him a lot of credit because they're winning. And
they play hard for him.
They do. They play for him.
They do.
But also, I look at a Sean McVay, all right, who's had a lot of success. Sean McVay, if he leaves the Rams, do you think the Rams are the same team year in and year out with Sean McVay?
No, he's
the organization.
He's a Mensa.
He's the organization.
Yeah.
Andy Reid with the Chiefs. If he leaves the organization, the Chiefs this great organization, or is that a coach-centric team?
It would depend on who you replaced him with, but his fingerprints are all over everywhere on that organization. It's his identity. It's been built in his identity.
Correct. The Eagles could bring in another head coach, and they would continue winning as long as they have talent. The Eagles have
Jimmy Johnson to Barry Switzer.
There was so much talent that was left. They still won, but then it was over.
Yeah,
because that was about Jimmy Johnson and what he built. With the Eagles, think about it. Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl, then they fired him.
Yeah. 2 years later.
Nick Sirianni won a Super Bowl, but nobody actually believes that he's a really, really important factor in that. And I think he's an important factor, but I don't believe that if Nick Sirianni retired, that the Eagles would be like, oh, my God, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
They would find another coach. The Eagles win.
He's not irreplaceable.
It's organizational with the Eagles.
Yeah.
And I think and you know what? I think a lot of fans understand that, and then they go over the top with Sirianni.
Yeah, both ways.
Yep.
When it comes to him. I think the interesting thing with him, okay, say he all of a sudden was on the market. He just wasn't the Eagles coach for whatever reason. And he was on the market right now. Would teams with a relatively good coach that maybe come up short in the playoffs go, we weren't planning on changing coaches, but Sirianni's available now.
No.
So that's different. So maybe we pivot off LaFleur or we pivot off of whoever. You know, not a team down in the dumps that's got nothing.
I don't think they would. We actually asked James Palmer. He's coming up, NFL Insider.
10:45.
He's coming up at 10:45. Do you remember we asked him that, Ray? And he was like, oh, yeah, there'd be lots of teams interested in Sirianni. He'd have interest. But, like for example, John
Not
Harbaugh.
Belichick.
John Harbaugh is available, let go by the Ravens. He has a number of teams that are interested. But there's also believed teams that are in the playoffs right now are making calls saying, like, hey, let's see what happens. The Packers maybe. The Bills maybe.
Yep.
If the Bills lose, if the Packers lose, there are a lot of people that believe that they could fire their coach knowing that, hey, would you take this job? If so, we'll get rid of our coach.
Yeah.
Who's doing that with Nick Sirianni? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I don't know that they are. And look, part of the thing with Harbaugh, too, is the tenure, because he had such a long tenure. There's nothing better for an NFL franchise to hire a guy and have him there forever because he's successful. It's a headache you don't have to deal with. It's like when you don't have a franchise quarterback, you're looking for one. You have one or you don't. If you have a stable coaching situation, that's always preferred. But no, I don't know that teams are knocking down the door. And I want to ask James Palmer that. You know, how is he perceived in league circles? Some coaches are perceived really high in league circles, and
Like Harbaugh.
yeah, and fans go, well, I don't kind of understand that. Like, why?
Like, if Tomlin ends up leaving the Steelers, they're not going to fire him. But if he ends up leaving the Steelers,
Yeah.
the same reaction that Tony Dungy had for Harbaugh, which is, oh, you're not going to be able to get a coach like John Harbaugh. Well, yeah, you will.
Yeah, just like they did for Tony Dungy.
Right. John Harbaugh's not the organization. The
Yeah.
Ravens are the organization. Part of the reason why Harbaugh hasn't had success in recent years is they don't have a ton of talent on offense. The defense isn't as good. John Harbaugh is Nick Sirianni that doesn't have an offensive background.
Yeah.
He's a special teams coach, but he's that CEO. So, I mean, I'm not telling you
Very
that,
similar.
Ray, I'm not telling you that John Harbaugh is any better of an option than Nick Sirianni other than perception across the NFL.
That's exactly it.
Q rating.
Yeah.
I think Harbaugh gets the built-in. He survived 18 years in an organization. They kept winning. You know, like he'll
Andy
get that
Reid
respect.
tree.
Yeah, he'll get that respect. But ultimately, and it's the funny thing about, you know, whatever it's a national talking head or someone that's just looking for attention that says like, oh, Philadelphia, would they be interested in John Harbaugh? You're getting the same deal. We would still be talking about the offensive play caller. Is the offensive play caller that Harbaugh has good enough? And if Sirianni were to magically go somewhere else, I think there'd be suitors because right now he's got the cachet of a guy that's won a Super Bowl, that's been to 2 Super Bowls in 5 years, that's made the postseason every year. And it'd be like, all right, what type of staff could Sirianni put together? I do think there'd be suitors. If there was a world where he wasn't the Eagles coach. There's not going to be that world.
But not the suitor of a playoff team that says, we weren't
He's the
planning
missing
on doing
ingredient,
anything.
yeah.
Now this kind of changes our scope when we look, because he's available, and this may be just the one opportunity we get to get him. So we'll move off of coach that's gotten us to the playoffs but hasn't gotten us over the hump yet.
So, Ray, I'll ask you specifically. All right, same thing that happened. And by the way, if Nick Sirianni got whacked after a really, really bad season, it would be a little bit different. But if it's similar to Harbaugh and the Packers lose in the first round and there's rumors that maybe LaFleur's not safe, or like Sean McDermott. By the way,
I wouldn't hire him in Buffalo.
I like Sean McDermott, and because he's from Buffalo area. I like Sean McDermott a lot. What he's done up there in Buffalo, because they didn't win for decades without Sean McDermott. Doesn't it feel like it's time for a new voice up there, like it's run its course?
They need an offensive coach, though, to get the quarterback on the rails.
Agreed. Nick Sirianni's an offensive coach that isn't an offensive coach. But
Yeah,
I
that's
guess
the
my
thing.
point is, are they interested in Nick Sirianni? I don't think they are.
I think that
They lose in their first playoff.
I think
game.
Arizona would be interested in Nick Sirianni.
the biggest question in the Sirianni interview would be, what's your plan for coordinators? Because if he's just bringing his buddies, I don't think that you're getting that. I don't think he's getting far in that process.
Well, and by the
But
way,
he's got the cachet to to come in and say, look, you got to do some things my way here because I won a Super Bowl and I got a 694 winning percentage.
Right.
He's got the hand.
But think about it. One thing Sirianni's done very well, and this was what people said was a negative on Doug. Doug wasn't in the NFL as an assistant coach for 15, 20 years. He didn't work with a bunch of guys. When you're a positional coach, that's when you're working with Jonathan Gannon, Shane Steichen. That's where you know Vic Fangio. This is where you're developing relationships with all these positional coaches. As they grow with you, that's Jonathan Gannon came in. Say what you want about him.
Yeah, it was good.
He was a hot coordinator prospect. Yep. Shane Steichen was a hot coordinator prospect. When he came in, his plan was Steichen, Gannon. Worked out great.
Yeah.
Right? Like
nothing wrong with that.
So I actually think that's one of the things that Nick does really well is that he does have connections across the NFL. For all the
guys want to work for him because they get a job after they work for him.
Dude, it's hard to argue with that.
You know why? Because it just keeps happening, except for this year.
And John Harbaugh, they've been a mess with offensive coordinators in the offense down there in Baltimore for a long time. With a great quarterback like Lamar, like maybe part of that's Lamar because of the way he plays or whatever, but doesn't it always seem like the new offensive coordinator coming in? Oh, you got to bring in a new offensive
Not on the
coordinator.
same page. They get off to a horrible start, and that's part of it. Look, to win in the NFL is so hard, right?
Year after year.
And I think maybe because we're so close to the Eagles right now, we're kind of forgetting that. How hard it is to do what they're doing is very – I mean, look at the Giants. They can't get out of their own way. They've won, 8 games in, the last 4 years. 4 of them were in week 17 or 18. Like, they can't even get it right to get a good draft pick.
They can't even lose right.
Yeah, and then they pick Daniel Jones, right? Yeah, they pick a quarterback at the top of the draft that's from a school that's more known for academics than it is football. Rule number 1, you broke.
And then he's good when he leaves.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I don't know. Is he disrespected? I think I disrespect him at times.
I do too.
For sure. I don't intend to because I got to respect that winning percentage and what he has accomplished.
Yeah, but Jason, you know what? When he's running off the field after they didn't get a completion in the second half.
I know.
And he's running off the field and he's yelling,
pumping his fist,
yelling at fans, and he runs by A.J. Brown. He's like, I love this belief. And then the very next week, the team blows it that they could have the second seed. Like, I'm sorry. That's why I can't. That's why I can't get fully invested with Nick Sirianni.
Yeah.
Is that he pulls that kind of crap? Like, you win the game, dude. You should be going back and saying a prayer that you were able to win that game and Josh Allen blew that game. And then you come out the next week, you rest the starters, and your backups suck. And
horrible.
You lose the shot at being the second seed. Like that's he won the Super Bowl. So I acknowledge
it's a little leash.
I acknowledge that what he's doing is working, but he also drives me nuts. There's a lack of connection because he's more frat boy than anything else, and I can't stand it.
I'm the dumbest coach in the world.
The one thing that we don't know, or the element of his coaching that we can't get behind the curtain and see, is why the players play so hard for him.
They like him.
They do. He says stuff in that locker room and in meetings, and it resonates with the guys that go out on the field and play, the guys that we pay to go see. Nobody goes to see a coach. It works, and it has continued to work year in and year out. Yeah, they collapsed in 2023, but we don't see that part. So it's hard for us to put a huge feather in his cap for being able to do that, although we recognize that's a big part of a CEO coach job, to have your guys ready and together, because you have to win as a unit. You have to win as a team, and he doesn't let guys be individuals, even though sometimes they try. So
a lot of egos in that locker room, and Nick has been able to manage it.
That's hard, John.
Jesus Christ. Saquon Barkley's a huge star. Jalen Hurts is a
global star.
Jalen Hurts, you say what you want about him being a second-round draft pick. He was a quarterback since being a little kid. So you know what that's like? Now you come up.
At Alabama.
And Jalen's not an easy person to deal with, I can imagine, on a daily basis. You have A.J. Brown. You have a Heisman Trophy winner in Devontae Smith. You have A.J. Brown. You have Saquon Barkley. You have a bunch of defensive players that are huge young stars, and you have to be able to manage them. That's what he does well.
Yeah, like Cooper DeJean and Quinton Mitchell, managing their ego and work ethic early in their career is an enormous element. Those things are really hard. It's easy to manage a crap team because you just lean on them.
It's a crap team, yeah.
It's a crap team. Managing the egos of a team that's had success is very difficult.
All right, 610-632-0975.
I want people on the phone line. You know, when I was sick, people would text me and say, "Oh, you don't have to call me back or text me back," and I would call people back. I like to talk to people.
You do?
Yes, I'm done with this texting crap. Enough. Let's have some conversation.
Well, I mean, on here I like to talk. Otherwise, I'm texting. I called Ray today, though.
Yeah, well, when I was sick,
That was odd.
When you're sick, you're very isolated. So I would call people back. I spent so much time on the phone just laying in bed. I mean, I even talked to the camera one day for an hour. I'm like, what the hell am I doing?
You calling 900 numbers?
I was in college.
976?
I had a roommate in college that ran up a $900 bill on.
I used to call 976 for Lou. You know what that is?
No.
97. You know what 976 numbers are, Ray?
No.
They're like 900 numbers before 900 numbers.
Dirty phone.
Got it.
Well, no, it wasn't. It was for Captain Lou Albano.
What?
I would call and get some recorded message from Captain Lou Albano. It was like $1 every time you call.
Really?
And yeah, my mom would be okay if I do it once or twice a week. So I'd call to hear
Captain Lou Albano.
For Lou.
Wasn't there some hot female wrestler at the time you could have called her
No,
line
I wasn't
instead?
interested in that.
Oh, my. You were interested in Lou Albano? The only time I was interested in him was in the Cyndi Lauper video. Where girls just want to have fun.
610-632-0975. John Kincade says that Nick Sirianni is disrespected, and he seems like he's mad about it.
He is mad about it.
Okay, I think Nick Sirianni's disrespected, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Because I'm guilty of it as well.
Yeah. Well, we got to talk about how you feel this week, too. And, you know, despite this regular season, to me, it means nothing. We'll talk about this coming up.
All right, we'll talk about the game coming up as well. It's Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Days away from the playoffs. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles and 49ers match up Sunday at 4:25 at Lincoln Financial Field. Quarterback Jalen Hurts, preparing for his fifth playoff run, spoke with the media yesterday about just how he performs in big games.
Why do you think it is in your career you've played better or you've elevated your performance in these high-stakes games?
Some things are in you.
Yes, in you.
I'm just answering your question.
Look at the injury report from Wednesday. Lane Johnson, Jalen Carter, Dallas Goedert, Nakobe Dean, and Marcus Epps all were limited in practice. 49ers missing left tackle Trent Williams, wide receiver Ricky Pearsall in practice on Wednesday. We'll talk birds with James Palmer coming up at 10:45, and Herm Edwards joins the show coming up at 1. 76ers won 131-110 over the Wizards last night. Joel Embiid at 28 points lead the Sixers. They're back in action on Friday, and the Flyers get back to the ice tonight against the Maple Leafs at 7 o'clock. You can listen to Call the Game right here on The Fanatic. This update is brought to you by Aleve. Sometimes weather and body pain can slow you down, but don't let the pain stop you. With just one pill, Aleve provides up to 12 hours of pain relief so you keep moving. Use as directed. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers Flyers, the best birds talk in town. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Ireland. James Palmer, noted NFL insider and podcaster, will join us coming up at 10:45. Like you had said,
Local, too, right?
Scott Palmer's son.
Yep.
The pride of Upper Marion High School.
An ace.
And he's done big
That's
things.
Lower Marion, sorry.
Is that the Aces?
The Lower Marion Aces, right?
Yeah. That's, that's Lower
Kobe.
Marion.
Kobe.
Yeah.
No, they're the Vikings, I believe.
I believe you're correct.
Upper Marion Vikings. And Ray knows because he's probably done play-by-play for Upper Marion.
They're a packed school.
Are they?
Yeah.
Ah.
That's some action right there.
All right. So what do we have on the? What do we have? What are people saying on the text line? Because I think to set what people are saying about Nick Sirianni, you need to actually hear what people say about Nick Sirianni. Like I was saying, clearly you have to give him credit. Whatever he's doing is working, and I think we can see the strengths. But also, there isn't one part of me that thinks if Nick Sirianni left, that the Eagles still wouldn't be successful. This is an organizational, like the Eagles. It's Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman. It's about picking a coach. When you hear Tony Dungy say, "Oh, you're not going to find a good of coach as John Harbaugh," well, why not?
Yeah.
Why can't you find a good of like Ray said this yesterday?
I find a lot of coaches that won't win me another Super Bowl in 18 years.
Ray said this yesterday, and it's dead on. Doug Peterson's not as good of a coach as Andy Reid. Nick Sirianni's not as good of a coach as Andy Reid. They both won Super Bowls, and Andy couldn't.
Yeah.
You don't need to get a coach as good as Andy Reid. You don't need the guy to be here for 20 years to be as good as Andy Reid. You need a coach that's able to coach. Doug Peterson coached his ass off and played his ass and called plays like Andy Reid never did in the playoffs that year they won the Super Bowl.
Did not. And the thing is, when you look at Peterson, he was kind of a bum. I had the student odd meter with him and everything. He was kind of bumbling, but he was also a guy that his players loved him.
Yep.
Like he had their back.
For sure.
And as a former player, like he knew how to do that, take things off of them. So they always had his back. And he came in here and he won. He got everybody. But he also did something really interesting. He put ego aside when Carson Wentz got hurt, he and Frank Reich. And they went back and looked at that 27-2 under Chip Kelly year of Nick Foles and said, what worked that year for him?
Yep.
Let's put that in. Let's not just keep going square peg, round hole shotgun. That doesn't work.
I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. I talked about that exact thing. And is Patullo and Nick Sirianni going to be capable of that? They haven't showed it yet.
No. I mean, they keep going to shotgun. Like we brought up the numbers where, 12.4 yards per play under center, 9 plays under center. 22 in shotgun, 3.2 yards per play. It's
and they got Nick going, and that's not something that you can use going forward forever, or even a season, or even 5 games. But a short amount of time, a couple of games, teams don't make the adjustment.
No,
they tried to do the same thing the following year, and it didn't work because teams adjusted to what they were going to do.
Yeah, they just took all of his strengths.
Right.
And said, okay, now try and beat us with your weaknesses.
It was great.
2 weeks.
It was great coaching.
Yeah, it was brilliant to do that. And a lot of coaches aren't amenable like that. Like we look at systems or styles or whatever. We have these catchphrases that we call them. Coaches don't look at it that way. It's religion. This is how I do it. This is my core belief system. And to jump out of that because of situation, in this case, Wentz getting hurt and Foles having success doing something different, the fact that he was able to do that and make that pivot when he did is remarkable to me. Like you can't understate that part of it.
We have some NFL breaking news. Really? The Eagles have found their next offensive coordinator. Miami Dolphins have fired head coach Mike McDaniel.
Really?
Surprising, because all the word was the owner likes him. They fired the GM. It's more about personnel and the quarterback than it's about the head coach. Is this a potential destination for John Harbaugh?
According to Schefter, just now.
Well, nobody else has correct information.
Right, exactly.
No, he's the only one that carries everybody's water.
All right.
Dolphins have not contacted John Harbaugh or made inquiries into other coaches. Of course, they just fired their coach 2 minutes ago, so that would mean they didn't contact him before that fire.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they've done no
they have
investigating.
no clue.
Yeah, no investigating about coaches.
Yeah, the amount of talking that goes on behind the scenes with agents and stuff.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, let's be realistic here.
Yeah. All right, well, Mike McDaniel's gone.
What if a coach was available that coached 18 years in one place? They don't mention his name, but it's obvious. They have these conversations. Everybody knows everything.
So here's my question about that. And the Eagles still have a game on Sunday, and everybody's hoping that they can get back to another Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. So I don't want to do the, hey, who are you going to replace Kevin Patullo with? Because let's win a Super Bowl. And
Yeah, we got more important pressing issues.
But does McDaniel make sense to be an offensive coordinator here if things were to?
It's an option. It absolutely is an option. Because the option that's there now, what's currently in place, I don't think you can come into next year with, just no matter what happens in the
If they
playoffs.
win a Super Bowl.
And the offense really starts clicking, playing 4 quarters, and has creative design. And
Well,
all
that's
that.
not going to happen.
You don't believe that can happen?
I don't I'm not telling you the offense can't click. It's not going to be because
We've seen it click.
It's not going to be because creative design and all of a sudden you have Sean McVay Jr. in
It's
there.
because Jalen Hurts is a gamer, and A.J. Brown's a great player, and Saquon Barkley and the offensive line is healthier from not playing last week, and Lane Johnson's returning. It's not because of Kevin Patullo. I believe they're going to have a new offensive coordinator no matter what. I really do. I think he's going to be the offensive quality control. He's going to check the mics and all the headsets before the game.
No, you can't demote him to being a gopher.
No, he's going to be an assistant head coach and offensive quality control.
That's
which
a
means
demotion.
Which means before the game he goes down on the field and there's somebody up in the booth and he goes testing 1 2 radio check.
It's
and
a
they go,
demotion.
That headset works. Okay, I'll move over to Coach Sirianni's headset. We'll check that next.
Guys don't take demotions like that. They move on. They don't even give him an option. They just move on.
But what's his option to move on? Where's he going?
Go be a positional coach at some other place.
Yeah, like where? Tulane?
Yeah, no, I know, but like there's no example where an offensive coordinator took a demotion to a quality control coach and stayed with the organization. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, but this is the Eagles.
All right. Well,
So,
I mean,
but it's not a path for him to obviously get where he wants to go, which is to be a head coach.
And I'm sure we'll talk about McDaniel. Everybody's going to, I'm sure the timelines on every social media right now. Oh, Mike McDaniel. He also wears capris. And I don't know if he connects with the locker room.
Imagine him and Hurts in the same room.
But he could balance the frat brother of Nick Sirianni.
With what?
Wearing capris.
Really? Where's the capris?
Well,
huh?
he wears the. How would you describe it, Ray? You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
They're knickers.
It's his entire vibe. Like
It is.
It's hard to pull off the capri, bro. I could not do it. I would look like a fire hydrant.
He doesn't look bad doing whatever it is.
Find a picture of him in them. I want to see him in them.
They're not true capris, but they have like on the bottom. They're
Cuffed.
Yeah, they're cuffed. There's like almost it's like a stringy thing.
It's like a sweatpant pair of pants. I have a pair
Okay,
of those.
they're like joggers, but they're
Okay, so you're not wearing the ones that are up the calf.
No. Not capris. My daughters are wearing.
Okay. I thought that's
spring.
like clam diggers.
What?
imagine Fangio watching the two of those guys operate, Sirianni and McDaniel. He worked with them actually in Miami.
He did.
His head
Yeah,
would just snap off his neck.
Yeah, so Vic actually may say yay or nay about it. They're just going to ask him.
That's a familiar face.
All right, coming up, we'll get all this with James Palmer coming up here. All right, breaking news in the NFL. One of the NFL noted insiders, James Palmer, Bleacher Report,
Does a great
Athletic,
job.
joins us coming up next about that, the game, everything else. Middays with Marks 97.5 The Fanatic.
Kincade and Salciunas.
All right, back middays with Marks, 97.5, the Fanatic.
I am pumped up for this game.
Yeah, can't get here fast enough.
No, I mean the Flyers game.
Ah.
I'm
Oh,
kidding.
fish night. Casey Boy was down
Yeah.
here earlier. It's the fish night at the Flyers game.
Trey Anastasia, the singer and lead guitarist of Fish, was at the game on Tuesday as well, undercover.
Oh, I haven't been able to sleep since that night.
Yeah.
Man, actually, and I promise a Flyers segment later on in the show because I felt like I took a time machine back into the early 2000s.
Legion of Doom.
I mean, the electricity in the house the other night, watching it took me back to when hockey not only
hockey
mattered,
mattered. Yeah.
not only when it mattered, when it was like legit.
Yeah. And it was the thing. It was a scene. And I want to ask you a question about it based on something that happened with the fans that night.
All right. Well, we'll get to it. But
JP.
Right now, we got to get to James Palmer from the Bleacher Report and multiple podcasts on The Athletic, and he joins us right now. And Jason, I was in the King of Prussia Mall over the holidays, and I thought I saw James in the merry-go-round. He was checking out
merry-go-round.
some Z Cavaricis and an IOU sweatshirt. Was that you, James?
I wish, but I was wearing a Kunda Bev T-shirt yesterday from my boys' beer distributor there in King of Prussia. I was rocking that here in Denver.
Nice.
Go to Kunda Bev there on Henderson Road, everybody. Get your best beer in town.
Were you a Z Cavarici guy?
No.
He's a little bit young for that, I think.
Okay. No parachute pants?
He
No. Yeah. I mean, I was more of like I had a Sixers starter jacket, the one that pulled over and only zipped up quarter of the way with the big pocket.
Oh, the quarter zip, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it got stolen while I was in middle school. And
that was a hot item.
To tell my parents.
Yeah, you better,
it was.
Better lock that thing
up. It got lifted quick. Yeah, it got lifted, yeah.
Upper Marion, man. There's thugs at
I know.
Upper Marion School District.
Yeah, I mean, you got thug life up there, man. You got street cred.
Yeah.
All right, so
I appreciate it.
we have breaking news here in the last couple minutes here. Mike McDaniel fired. It seemed like at least a lot of the talk was that the owner liked him and he was going to keep his job, but not so, James.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything predictable in this cycle. I mean, if you knew what went on in Baltimore between John Harbaugh and Steve Bisciotti, it'd be fascinating. There's so many different things at play here. I mean, I'm doing my show for The Athletic today. I'm sitting here asking people going, do you think Mike Tomlin, if things go terrible against the Texans? Do you think Sean McDermott, Philly guy, if things go terrible for the Bills? I don't see movement with either one of those. But the point I'm making is even people that think they're safe have not been. I mean, there was a thought on a lot of people on that staff in Atlanta I talked to. Thought Raheem Morris and them winning those games down the stretch and beating the Rams would keep them safe. There was a thought Jonathan Gannon, former Eagles DC, would potentially maybe be safe. But, it seems like there's an itchy trigger finger this season. And I think Harbaugh being available, and I think Kevin Stefanski, a two-time coach of the year, being available has changed kind of the landscape of what we were talking about in the pool when I've been on with you guys before going, hey, there weren't any a whole lot of slam dunk type of candidates out there. Now there are. And I think it's changed some teams' thinking a little bit. And there was always kind of a thought that Mike McDaniel would be an interesting candidate in his second stop. Just because of what he brought and things went poorly in Miami, that second stop was thought to possibly be Miami. Now it's going to be somewhere else. I guess you keep an eye on Harbaugh down there, but I'm not so sure. But the timing of it makes you think that you should keep an eye on Harbaugh down there.
James, do some of the playoff teams kind of go, well, we kind of are happy with our coaching, but there's maybe some things available that won't be available when we're not really sure about the guy long-term here, when you look at a guy like Harbaugh or some other options?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's why, I don't think things are solidified in Pittsburgh. I mean, I always had heard that whoever lost that Week 18 game, we should keep an eye on that building. And that did happen in Baltimore. But I do think there's a kind of a rebuild thought process there in Pittsburgh. And I think Mike would have a much larger say in it because John was essentially, we always thought it'd be parting of the ways. John Harbaugh was fired, flat out.
Yeah.
It was not a mutual parting of the ways. And there was for a variety of reasons there in that building. And we probably don't have time to get to it. But could something happen with Tomlin? Possibly. I don't think something happens there. I don't think something happens with Sean McDermott. I think he's beloved there. But Green Bay is the other one that I think other teams are probably more excited about than maybe people in that Green Bay building thinking things happen. If that, you know what I mean? Like wishful thinking. Everybody down in Atlanta's like, if Matt LaFleur could become available.
Right.
But everybody I talk to around the league is like, if Matt LaFleur gets fired, that is just utterly insane. Like, he is an outstanding football coach. Look what he did, and oftentimes this happens with backup quarterbacks. Look what Malik Willis went out and did. that's usually the credit to the coach, right? That he kind of turned the player around, and another feather in the cap of what Matt's done. But I do think in Green Bay, the standards are different, and they did not give him and the general manager with a new acting president, no policy, like a new contract this past offseason. So he would be going into 2026 as a lame duck head coach unless they do a contract or get rid of him. Matt is a fascinating aspect of this as well, but I think the Packers, as I talk to people around the league, can beat anybody in this postseason. And this postseason is fascinating.
Yeah, it really is. All right, let's talk about the Eagles and the 49ers. I guess the biggest news to come out from the 49ers side is that Trent Williams, and I wonder what you're hearing, he's very iffy to play now. I guess he tweaked his knee in practice yesterday. The status was already in doubt. It's a playoff game to try to get him going. But what's the latest on their veteran left tackle?
Yeah, and veteran left tackle, first ballot Hall of Famer, left tackle, same thing as Philly has with their right tackle in terms of how good they are. And I have been hearing with the hamstring, it was always going to be very tough for him to come and play in this game. So I think it is very much in doubt. I mean, obviously with the postseason, guys are always going to push it a little bit further. My understanding is it wasn't really close for Week 18, which the Niners really thought, if you want to read into it, that was a playoff game, right? Because when I talked to people around the league, it was, hey, if the Niners get home field and the bye, anything's possible for that team, even though with all the injuries they've had. And so San Francisco went into that Week 18 game against the Seahawks thinking it was a postseason game, and there was no chance Trent was going to play in that game. So if that gives you a little bit of an indication, they're going to try to push through the week. I know it's just, we're just sitting here on Thursday, but it doesn't seem like he's going to play. The other one that I think is not talked about as much, maybe because, he missed his rookie season, it's just his second year. Ricky Pearsall is outstanding. He has been really the guy that can win one-on-one in Kyle Shanahan's offense, and he is a perfect fit for what Kyle does. But with the PCL injury that he's been battling, and they've had a hard time gauging him through the weeks on whether he's going to be able to go or not, I think that's a huge loss for this Niners offense if he can't go, and it's looking more likely that he can't go in terms of affecting this passing game that's really, really good with Brock Purdy, obviously. You really have Juwan Jennings, and you have George Kittle, and you have Christian McCaffrey. Two of the guys I mentioned are not receivers, and they're two of your best receiving threats, I guess, as an offense. Ricky Pearsall is a way better player, I think, than people understand, and that would be a big loss for San Francisco.
James, regular season doesn't matter. It's over. All the narratives about playing a half and no completions in a second half, getting 21 points, and then nothing else against the Cowboys, that's all in the rear view. With this matchup, Eagles offense versus the San Francisco defense with all their injuries and linebacker, the Eagles could get off to a good start. Is this, if they're going to do it, they got to do it here and then ride the wave of confidence, right?
I agree, because I think one of the things I'm looking for across the entire landscape of this postseason, and I look at all the matchups and all the teams and all their possibilities of going on a run, can the Eagles come from behind? I'm not sure this year if they can come from behind. So I think getting out to a quick start in most of these postseason games is huge. I think they should be able to run the ball. They should be able to run the ball at the edges. I would force these Niners corners to tackle. I think they have the ability to get out and moving against this defense that is not, nothing to write home about. I mean, I think Robert Saleh is getting interviews, no lie, because of what he's done with this group. I brought it up with Matt LaFleur. When you get guys that are not your starters and they're off the street, like a lot of these guys in San Francisco, and you have them playing the way they're playing, that's really good coaching. And I think Robert Saleh is a good defensive coordinator. But I do think, the Eagles are just so farly more talented as a unit offensively than the Niners are as a defense. You should be able to get up on them early. And then you won't have to worry about what I think is one of the unknowns of this season in the postseason, which is, can Philly come from behind in any games if they have to?
At James Palmer TV, follow him on socials. He's got his athletics show coming up at 11 o'clock. So we're going to let you go after you give us your prediction on the game. It just feels like with the injuries and the matchup and everything else, this is an Eagles win.
Yeah, they should win the game. And we didn't get a chance to talk about what I think is one of the most fun matchups of this entire week, which is Kyle Shanahan versus Vic Fangio. I mean, it's just
that's the chess match.
Versus scheme is outstanding. Yeah, I mean that's what everybody should have their eye on. I mean, that's as good as you can get from both sides. And Vic, just to put it in perspective real quickly, I've had conversations with Patrick Mahomes where he's just been like, dude, I just can't stand going against him. Like, I just can't stand it. Like, that's what he does to offensive minds that are really, really good, and Kyle's one of the best at them. I love this matchup between those two sides, and I'd look at the middle of the field and see what he can do with McCaffrey there, and how the Eagles' athleticism there plays a part. But the Eagles should win this game. I would think it'd be like 24-14, something like that. And I think I want to see if they can grind it out in the second half. That's what won them the Super Bowl last year, right? The ability to run the football in the second half, grind teams out in the second half, possess the football. Can we start to see that in this game against a below average defense and build off of it? That would be the hope for me in Philadelphia.
Great stuff, James. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks,
we'll
James.
talk to you.
Yep. You guys take it easy. The bad memory is bringing that starter jacket back, though. I'm not going to lie.
A
It's an
trauma.
open wound still, I think, after all these years.
All right, man. That'll be your Christmas present next year.
I want to talk about that matchup of Fangio versus Shanahan, because that, in chess parlance, that's Carlson versus Nakamura.
Fangio's had the advantage in that in their last 4 meetings. That's coming up. Also, home field advantage. How much does it matter? How much does it matter for the Eagles? All right. We'll talk about it coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Another day close to the postseason. Opry done with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles and 49ers matchup Sunday at 4:25 at Lincoln Financial Field. Jalen Hurts is preparing for his 5th playoff run as Eagles quarterback and met with the media yesterday talking about keeping the main thing the main thing.
Every year is different, but it's always the same goal. If you don't have that mentality, then, you're not in the right place. Ultimately, it's just coming in, treating every year as its own year, but also knowing exactly what we're playing for and putting ourselves in positions to play for championships.
Both teams keep an eye on the injury report ahead of Sunday. Out of Wednesday's practice, Lane Johnson, Jalen Carter, Dallas Goedert, Nakobe Dean, and Marcus Epps all were limited. The 49ers right now looking at wide receiver Ricky Pearsall, who was missing at practice on Wednesday, as well as left tackle Trent Williams, who is out on practice on Wednesday. Also, it's now come out that he is doubtful for Sunday, so we'll see what comes with his availability going forward. Herb Edwards will join the program coming up at 1 o'clock to talk about everything with the Birds. 76ers won 131-110 over the Wizards last night. The Flyers get back to action tonight against the Maple Leafs at 7 o'clock. You can listen to that game right here on The Fanatic. This update is brought to you by AAA Tire and Auto Service. Save up to $30 on auto repair with AAA. AAA play only at AAA Tire and Auto Services. Offer valid through January 31st. Details at AAA.com/mycar. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, the best Birds talk in town. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
watching live on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. So you smash the subscribe button, Jason.
Yep.
All right. You like what we're doing. You comment, the live chat that we have going on.
I'm on there commenting now.
I know. I didn't log on this morning.
Get on there, man.
But it's
a community.
Great way to watch the show. We're going to have a YouTube chat meetup at some point, right?
Absolutely.
Need to.
It's a great idea.
You call that a face-to-face.
I'm just part of me doesn't want to meet some of these YouTube chatters.
Does it ruin it for you?
It ruins it. It's not disrespect to them.
Yeah.
How many times have you met a listener and you're like, I wish I didn't know what they look like, because you have this idea of what they look like?
Yeah, that's why the internet's killed radio, because now everybody knows what we look like.
Right.
I liked it anonymous better.
There's one all-time listener, Ray, that looks exactly like you think he would look.
Ingy?
And one caller too. No, Ingy, I don't even know.
Yeah.
No, there's one caller that looks exactly the way you would think he would look.
Okay.
Yeah, he does.
He looks.
Okay.
I need an update later on his situation, too.
He said he hasn't been talking to
Yeah, he's full of crap.
the cat.
Okay.
By the way, the YouTube chat checking in on Ray said, Ray looks like he's had a rough morning. Said if Bayless and D Flyers 100 goes hair of the dog, Ray was a little rough on the Beaver last night.
No, it was a bad update. That's what it was.
Oh.
The last update was a bad update for me.
It was?
Yeah. I inhaled a cough as I was saying I'm Ray done, and from that point forward, it was just a battle to get through it.
I actually have a good idea. Let's just not do updates. I don't want
We'll just read the sponsor?
Listen, it's not my call. Well, no, I could throw it to Ray, and Ray could be like, all right, coming up tonight, and he could give us like the Sixers are playing, or give a very brief update. And then, because I don't need an update. I don't think the people need an update.
Yeah, it's on their phone.
I mean, listen, I'm not trying to get in trouble.
Look, is anybody tuning in for Ray's updates?
He does them very well.
He does. He's a good broadcaster.
He is.
I don't want to minimize Ray. We would just accentuate you in other ways.
You could minimize me.
I'd rather have the minute on the air talking.
I totally agree.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So you screwed up the update, Ray?
I mean, I got through the update. I would just say it's not one. If I was going to put one out there and say, this is my best body of work, it wouldn't hit the top like 500.
If we didn't have the update, Ray wouldn't have bled live on the air either.
That's true.
So you said you had a cough or something? Were too many Camel non-filters last night?
That's exactly it, yes. Finished a pack last night.
Pack of
Stressful,
humps?
Yeah. Got off the call at ESPN and decided to walk home smoking cigs.
Yeah.
One of the guys on the chat says, easy, Mert. It's a dangerous place in here in the chat.
It is. Wow. Proceed with caution. That's why a lot of times I pay my respect and say good morning, because it's very important. By the way, if you're looking for Phillies content, probably not going to give you anything today. But if you missed my last Phillies Hot Stove YouTube video, 97.5 The Fanatic, subscribe and check it out.
Now, are you
We've
putting
been killing
it just out on YouTube, or are you
Just
putting them
YouTube.
on YouTube or like
No podcast. Just
no.
YouTube.
Okay. Good. That's good on you for doing that.
Yep. So we're doing a couple a week when breaking news happens.
Doing them by
Put
yourself?
it out there. Just me. I got my setup at home. Boom, bang.
Yeah, there's not many people. Look, there's not many people in this market. There's a lot of podcasts, but not many podcasters do it solo. I do, I think, 92% of my Flyers one, which I do 5 days a week, solo. Literally by myself in the studio at the house. I'm talking to the walls. But you create a community.
Right.
And you give information, and you can respond to people in other ways, through comments, emails,
Correct.
DMs, whatever it might be.
Yep. All right. Well, there you go. So
I love the format, and I'm going to check your Phillies thing out. That's good on you, because that means it's just work I don't have to do.
right.
Because you're doing it all. I just listen to you.
And you know what it is?
Jason Stark syndrome.
What it is, a lot of it is that I have more interest on the Phillies than I'm able to do in a 4-hour show, because you have to know your audience. You know what you have to talk about, right? Like
But you can get into the
hockey.
weeds.
Right, exactly. You can't do much of that on the air, like with you. And this is what I'm encouraging Colarulo to do, a Flyers YouTube show,
should.
because he knows his hockey and he's really good with it.
Yeah.
And I would actually watch it to learn.
Yeah. That's what I think the biggest thing that it can do for like a sport like hockey is it can help educate the fan more. That's what I try and do. I try and remove emotion of fandom, because there's enough podcasts of people screaming and yelling.
Right.
And I'm analytical. Like, I don't want to, go in and save. He's got to make that save. Well,
That's
why
what I
didn't he
do.
make it?
Let me do that.
Yeah. Why did he make the save? Shoot!
And the biggest rivalry in the city right now, Flyers fans against Colarulo, because they don't want to allow him in the club. So that's why I want to see
that's
what the
both-
interaction.
Oh, shoot. I'm gonna say, I didn't say it. You don't need to dump it, but that's bull. Anybody that wants to come on the bandwagon. They're getting better now, obviously, and it's been more exciting.
Oh, I'm excited.
Anybody that wants to come onto the bandwagon now or jump off and come on at any time, my hand is out. I do not gatekeep the sport. And I'm a honk for the sport as like no other. No way will I ever gatekeep it. The more the merrier. Come on in, enjoy it. The water's warm now. It's not an ice bath anymore. Come on in. Come down to a game. I'll come up, sit with you for a period.
Ray and Bill had a Flyers debate on the air on the show yesterday.
That's good.
Oh, yeah. Ray held his own.
Is Ray a pucksman?
Yeah. Didn't you hear about his podcast that he has?
Hooked up, man.
Hooked up with Ray Dunn.
I like that. Good alliteration.
I mean, he still has to do the first episode, but it's in production.
It's in production.
In pre-production now?
Yeah, they were too busy trying to get the Herb podcast off the air that mine's kind of fallen by the wayside.
Oh.
Right. You're next.
Imagine if podcasts were around, like prevalent when Bernie was still around.
Oh, my God.
Like he wanted to do that cooking show. And
Cooking with Bernie.
Yeah, I got this like notification the other day, like 10 years ago this.
I know.
And it was me prank calling Bernie as Jerry Maguire about his cooking show and representing him to do appearances. And I'm like, what's your rate? Show me the money. And he's going, show me the money. And he goes, I go, what's your rate? He's like, I don't know. I go, 10, 15,000 for an hour? He's like, I can get that.
He took the bait every
Oh,
time
my
when
God.
we pranked him. Rest in peace, Bernie from Broomall. Let's do this.
He's the best.
Couple phone calls on the Eagles, what we've been talking about.
Couple or three.
And then I'm asking the question of, does home field advantage really matter in the playoffs? Because the 49ers side of things are saying that the Eagles fans actually don't have that much of an impact. Let's go to Ish, though. Ish in Levittown. Ish, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
So yesterday we had said Ish isn't a top 5 caller. It sounds like he's at a trash dumpster right now. We had said that Ish isn't a top. We got you. We had said Ish isn't a top 5 caller on the show. But then I thought about it. It's like, well, he has to be a top 5 caller in the show. We only even have 5 callers. But
you're by default.
Ray, what do you think?
I don't think he's top 5.
Yeah, Ray,
Even though you only have 3 callers, he's not top 5.
No.
Correct.
Ish, you got to bring a little more alacrity to the equation. You can't just call him and go,
Well, that's what he does. That's what makes him so special. Go ahead, Ish. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I just have a Nick Sirianni. I think you get disrespected within the city. I just don't understand why we keep comparing him to other coaches. And when it comes down to it, it's all about winning. He won Super Bowl. He won the NFC title games. So I can't really compare him to anybody. But I think he is a good communicator, and he also relates to the players. And I think he's a good coach.
So I'll say this, right? Like, because Ish, a lot of times people will say, well, like, what impact does he have on the game? I actually think he impacts the game. He manages the game well. They're never out of timeouts, right? Remember Andy Reid with the time management? He never knew what the hell he was doing.
do a better job.
And Nick's always great with timeouts. He's great at managing the game. So, like, the strengths that he has that we can see, he really does have those strengths.
And his biggest strength is having his guys ready to play week in, week out.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I have 2 quick things. I think home field advantage does count. And is Ray there today?
Ray, you there?
Literally heard me at the start of this call.
He's here.
Hey, Ray, I heard you.
It's so creepy.
Your Snuggie Wuggies on doing women's temple game.
Can you guys get a room?
No, I don't want a room with him. He's calling the station sound like this, talking about me.
Were you, Ish wants to know if you were wearing your Snuggie Wuggie when you were doing the Temple game last night.
Doesn't even make any sense. What broadcaster wears a Snuggie Wuggie?
How about when you do the women's game and you're not on TV?
I did wear the Grinch Sherpa for our ugly sweater game, so that's the closest you can get to that.
You still got to dress professionally.
Yeah.
He's courtside.
So last night, Ray was courtside.
Show up there looking like a shamad.
We had a show meeting with the boss and Dylan and Vito and Nate was there and Eric Simon, our promotions director. Who am I missing? Everybody. It was like a big meeting.
Yeah.
Big end of year, beginning of the year meeting. And Ray's doing it courtside, nice suit. Looked very professional because then he was on the call of Temple's big win over East Carolina.
7th in a row, I believe, right?
Oh,
7th in a row.
Yeah.
What an impressive run.
To you.
They got Memphis next week. They go to Memphis.
That's how they get in the tournament. They beat Memphis, and then it propels them, and then they win the conference.
Yeah, they got to win the conference.
Oh, I'd love it to hear Ray doing tournament games.
Oh,
I have bad news for all you that think I'm doing tournament games.
How? Well,
because ESPN Plus doesn't have it.
Well, we got to get you hired at ESPN Plus then.
They got to get me hired at TNT.
Yeah, ESPN Plus doesn't do the He's doing the TV call on ESPN Plus.
Oh,
so he would need to be doing the radio call for the Owls.
Yeah.
If you want to get me an ESPN contract, I'm not against that.
Let me make a few phone calls.
All right, let's get to is it Terrell or Terrell? I always struggled with Terrell. Was it Terrell Owens or Terrell Owens?
It was Terrell.
Terrell. It was Terrell. Terrell in Philly. Terrell.
It's Terrell, actually.
Terrell in Philly. What's up, Terrell?
How you doing, Terrell?
Hey, how you guys doing? I like listening to you guys because you guys are fair, and you guys sometimes bring me down to reality sometimes. I got my feet up on the desk. I'm about to go to the Brooker right now, and I'm about to bet on this game. But I just wanted to know, you guys worry about any matchup San Francisco has over us?
Kyle
Is
Shanahan.
this something that, they have an advantage at? Kyle Shanahan? But we got Vic
Fangio.
But you got Fangio.
We'll
It's
talk
kinda
about that in a
strength
second.
versus strength. You know?
Yeah, I think we get them in every facet of the game, and I don't see, other than the Bears, they're the only ones that prove they could beat us. I think that we got this playoff on lock.
So Trent Williams is
As far as,
iffy. It doesn't look like he's going to play. Pearsall is their best wide receiver. It looks like he's not going to play.
Who's the little guy coming in the burner?
I don't know who he is. Ray's going to look it up. But, Christian McCaffrey's awesome. But you're talking about the Eagles' defense. So if they can't throw
Jalen
the ball
Carter.
and they can't protect Brock Purdy, the biggest thing with Brock Purdy is you got to protect him. He's good at wiggling around in the pocket. It just feels like the 49ers are where they are right now. It's the wrong time to face the Eagles defense.
Yeah. And it's the Eagles' offense versus with all their injuries at linebacker. They got a real opportunity to get going offensively.
Yep.
They really do have an opportunity here, and they got to take advantage of it and then try and ride the wave of confidence and moving forward. Put that whole season and all the crap that happened in second halves or first halves and no completions, which they did twice in a second half of a game against the Buccaneers then a few weeks ago. That's all in the past. You can rewrite a new narrative going forward, and because this is the part of the season that really matters. It's hard for teams that win to go through a regular season knowing you're not going to be measured on that regular season. Yep. You're measured now. And I think guys like Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Lane Johnson, Brandon Graham, they know that. This is a battle-tested playoff team, and I think that's a huge advantage this week. I don't know about home field being an advantage, but that's an advantage.
So earlier you talked about the Fangio. James Palmer brought it up, Fangio against Kyle Shanahan. And Kyle Shanahan, while they haven't won a Super Bowl, he's been outstanding, and the results he gets out of the last pick in the draft, Brock Purdy, Mac Jones came in. It didn't seem like they really missed.
No, he schemed it perfectly.
Yeah, it's a quarterback-friendly system. That's all Shanahan. We know that. But in 4 games, Fangio against Kyle Shanahan, how many points do you think Shanahan's put up against a Fangio-led defense?
Average?
4 games. Yeah, and total points.
16.
So that would be 64 points.
Yeah.
41 points in 4 games.
Oh, my God. It's even worse than I thought. That's incredible.
And I think it's fair to say that this – I mean, I don't – who was Fangio with?
Shanahan's daddy is Vic Fangio.
I mean, he was with Miami maybe for one of those – but who are the other defenses Fangio was with? Denver? Bears in Denver?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the best defense he's had, correct?
I think so.
The number one defense won the Super Bowl last year. They dominated the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I think it's fair to say this is his best defense.
And he integrated 2 rookies in right away.
Are they better this year? Make the case.
You can. Even though they've dealt with some injuries, obviously with Carter being out at times. Yeah, it's definitely comparable. I mean, yeah, it's the strength of their team. There's
Correct.
no question about that.
Right. So his best defense coming off a Super Bowl win last year, number 1 defense last year. And then you look at Pearsall's injured. Trent Williams, who's a Hall of Fame left tackle, he's injured. Their defense is banged up. Do you know their starting linebackers are Ricky Pearsall, Kaiser White, and what other guy that was on the street? Eric Kendricks. These guys
Michael Kendrick's brother.
They weren't even on rosters a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they're really crushed there. That's the key matchup for me that Kevin Patullo and Sirianni need to take advantage of. They got to find a way to get Saquon Barkley on a linebacker. They got to find a way to get A.J. Brown on a linebacker and Dallas Goedert on a linebacker. That's key because they are way down on the depth chart.
So Chase Sr. actually said this yesterday with us. Chase Sr., who's our former intern here, but also is doing big things on YouTube with Chat Sports.
Yeah, I follow him.
He had said yesterday the crossers with Dallas Goedert, it's not something that the Eagles do well or they do a lot, but when they do it, they have a lot of success. You got guys off the street playing linebacker. That's the matchup you want.
Yeah, you got to attack the middle of the field here. Absolutely. And get Saquon in space. Let him start creating.
But then you have Kevin Patullo that is your offensive coordinator.
No, they'll run Tank's Bigsby right up the gut, right into the pressure of the defense.
I wish they
on
would
third
run,
and
I
8.
wish they would run Tank Bigsby.
More. I think he needs to be running the ball 20% of the time. I like to see 5 to 7 carries out of him.
So 20 Saquon, 5 Tank.
Yeah. I think it's a good number.
5 Jalen.
Yeah.
2 scrambles, 3 design. Well,
yeah.
2 scrambles, 3 designs.
Yeah. I think Jalen's going to be really – he's not going to hesitate to run in the playoffs.
All right, in the playoffs, and we'll get back to the phones. Last 5 years, what would you say the winning percentage is in the playoffs the last 5 years for home teams? For home teams.
Like 52%.
68%.
Wow, that's
40 wins and 18 losses. So I went back 5 years because
it's the better team too. So yeah.
That's when the last 5 years. That's when the current format started of 7 teams.
Yeah.
So when they went to that extra wild card, so that's when I went back to. Last 5 years, 40 wins and 18 losses. And in one of those years, it was almost 500. So as we talked about earlier, if you were to take that 1 year off, it's even more dramatic, right?
It's probably 70-some percent.
68.97% wins for the home team.
Wow.
In the regular season, much different.
It's around a coin flip, right?
54% for home field, which makes sense. The Titans at home aren't going to beat one of the best teams in football.
No.
Right? So, like, they're big underdogs in that game anyway.
Eagles,
But when you're in the playoffs, you're having the number 2 going up against the number 7. So home field.
And in week 2, you have a team coming off a bye to face a team going on the road again.
So how much does home field play into it, do you think?
For the playoff game, I think it does play a part. I do. I think there's an energy with that crowd. But again, this is why a fast start is paramount, to get the crowd going right away. 2 3 and outs in the first quarter, that crowd can work against you. You don't want the crowd to work against you with the boos and 2 3 and outs and 26 seconds ticked off the clock. No, you got to go out there in those first couple drives and execute.
No, but I agree.
Get the crowd in the lather.
The home crowd could hurt the Eagles if they start slow.
The Eagles start fast. Brock Purdy doesn't see the fourth quarter.
The game's over. Yeah, the game's over.
Yeah, he doesn't see the fourth quarter.
I would like to believe, 'cause I think we've seen 21-0, which ended up being a loss.
Yeah, against Dallas.
Yeah, with no completion.
And then nothing after that.
Well, that's it. See, now, just when I'm starting to feel good, you make me feel bad talking about.
Yeah, but that was the regular season. This is a new season, so you got a clean sheet here, clean sheet of paper. What happened this season, we remember, we learned from it, but we don't dwell on it. You got an opportunity now to change the narrative at the most important time. That's the playoffs.
Can you really go in with the clean sheet, though?
There's no clean sheet.
Theoretically, you can. You can't because it did happen.
So there's a clean sheet with the way Jalen Hurts plays. Mm-hmm. Jalen Hurts himself, and I don't blame the Eagles if they said, hey, like, you're trying to keep him healthy. You don't want to do a designed run offense for your quarterback. You can do that in the playoffs because it matters. This is
Win or
where
go home.
Yeah, this is where it's like it's 3rd down and 7. I'm taking off. I don't see no open receiver. I'm taking off and getting the
and
first
I'm not
down.
sliding if I need a yard to go. I'm powering my way to get the first down.
Let's go to Kyle in Wayne, Pennsylvania. Kyle, good morning. Hello.
Morning, guys. How you doing?
What's up, Kyle?
Real quick, I think you were talking about Fangio versus Shanahan. One of those, I think, of the 4 games, John, is when he was the D coordinator of the Harbaugh 49ers. I mean, those were pretty damn good defenses. Let's be real here. You know, but
really good.
I think they're pretty close to this one. So that's, either here nor there. But and that was when Shanahan was an OC for the 2012 Redskins at the time with RG3 and all that. Remember those teams?
Okay. Wow, so we're going back. We're going back 13 years between these two guys matching up. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because of Shanahan's age, and it makes sense with Fangio, but Shanahan was probably my age. I'm 30 when he was the freaking OC of that team. So
he was.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. Knock on wood, I should be going to the game on Sunday, and I'm really excited if that were to come through. But
what's the holdup? Why do you not have a commitment yet?
I'm just waiting to hear back on my offer for the price. Unless unless something drastic changes, we should be good at through family friends. So it's not like my offer was too much of a low ball offer. But,
What are tickets going for? What was your offer?
Let's say this. This is lower level, and this is resale around round 4. So
okay,
per ticket. So I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, I've never been to a Eagles playoff game, so it should be my first ever.
No, that's not bad at all, Kyle. $400 a ticket.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I've seen that for regular season, so don't get me wrong. But I just wanted to say this real quick. I think, there's I've been trying to think about how like they think as themselves in this playoff, format, like the Eagles, like as a team. I mean, look, and the way that they went about it with the rest, I really just think that they are looking at it like, hey, these teams are looking at us like we are kind of like, not to say wounded dogs, but they're just, I just think they know that they're not getting the respect that they think they probably deserve as Super Bowl three-peat champion. There's just not a lot of talk for them as probably one of the teams that's going to finish on top, at least from a national perspective. I think Sirianni likes to use some of that stuff as motivation.
For sure.
This is nothing on the field, but in my opinion, I just think it's based off with the way they rested guys, and they said, we want to be the rested team playing a team coming in that's not rested. I think that they strategically are going about this like, look, we think this is the best thing for us. Jalen Phillips has not had a bye week. Did you guys know that?
Oh, because he missed it.
Yep. So things like that, there's things that we just probably we'll never know. But when I heard that, I'm like, okay, that's just stuff that we probably would, you would never have known when you're just looking at it from an objective point of view. But when I hear that, I'm like, okay, that's one of the bigger, important guys on our D-line.
All right, listen, Kyle, thanks for calling in, buddy. We got to roll. I'm actually on the Game Time app right now, and I'm looking at ticket prices. For a home playoff game, it's about what I would expect. Not too bad. All right, coming up, the chess match, Fangio against Kyle Shanahan. We talked to Chase Sr. about that yesterday. We'll play that, and we'll continue your conversation, 610-632-0975. Middays with Marks, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Look at a Sunday. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update, and it's brought to you by Corona. Join Andrew and Ricky Bo this Sunday at 4:30 for a Birds playoff watch party at New Deck Tavern, the official 97.5 The Fanatic watch party location. $5 Corona Extra, $5 Modelo Drafts, giveaways, and exclusive Go Birds tees. Sponsored by Corona. The playa awaits. The Eagles and 49ers match up Sunday at 4:25 at Lincoln Financial Field. It'll be the 5th playoff run for quarterback Jalen Hurts, who spoke to the media yesterday, was asked about playing in big games.
Why do you think it is in your career you've played better or where you've elevated your performance in these high-stakes games?
Some things are in you.
That's in you.
I'm just answering your question.
Look at the injury report for both sides. Lane Johnson, Jalen Carter, Dallas Goedert, Nakobe Dean, and Marcus Epps were all limited at practice for the Birds yesterday. 49ers missing left tackle Trent Williams and wide receiver Ricky Pearsall at practice on Wednesday. We spoke to James Palmer earlier in the show. You catch that conversation one more time on our website or the Fanatic app. We've got Herm Edwards coming up at 1 o'clock. 76ers won 131-110 over the Wizards last night. Flyers get back to the ice tonight against Maple Leafs at 7 o'clock. You can listen to the game right here on the Fanatic. This update's also brought to you by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call a 24-hour victim hotline 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers Flyers, the best Birds talk in town. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
when his teams fall down early and he has to come back, it just kind of alters his approach and his flow as a play caller. So I kind of go 50-50 split there between Shanahan and Vic Fangio. Fangio has had a lot of success against Kyle in recent memory.
It was Jay Sr. with us yesterday.
It's interesting.
Yeah, and I would bet it would be like that with a lot of coaches.
You're chasing a game. Your play calling is different.
But when you come out and it works, now you're confident. Now it's working. But when you come out, it doesn't work, or your defense all of a sudden gives up a bunch of points. Now you're changing everything you do.
And if you come out slow at home, the crowd can become a detriment. It can become a detriment. You can start pushing. Ultimately, we're people pleasers. And you don't think every one of those players wants to please everyone in those stands?
So we'll talk to this will be Sean's going to be with us tomorrow. Sean Brace's going to be with us tomorrow. We'll talk to like a lot of people that are going down the games or have been down the games. A lot of times like that Bears game, it felt like remember what that was like watching that on TV.
Stuff.
They just
200-yard rushers
kept going back to the fans, and it was like the NFL stock film that they use of the angry Eagle fan from the 80s.
Yep.
Snarling.
Okay, guys.
Okay. They put it in slow motion, and it's cold. He's got the hat on. He's snarling at the spit coming out of his eye. That's what it felt like watching the Bears-Eagles game on Black Friday. It was like and it can get like that in Lincoln Financial Field. What are fans walking into the stadium feeling?
That's a good question. Is it optimistic? Is it scared? Is it nervous?
Optimistic? Is it, hey, I'm ready to go? But if they have two 3-and-outs, what's the reaction?
Oh, the fans are 1 3-and-out.
Boo! So, see, I don't think it's 1 3-and-out.
Oh, I think
boo.
it is.
I think it's like
because of the regular season.
You may get some boos, but I don't think this is a 1 3-and-out. We're going to start ripping people.
Turn the team on.
Yeah, ripping people's arms off. 2 3-and-outs, then you're going to get them.
We rested our starters for this.
Yeah,
but most fans agreed with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of revisionist history going on with that, isn't it?
Very weird. Oh, my God, Jason, I was so mad.
Yeah, I didn't like it. We talked about it going into it. I didn't like it when I think we did the show Friday. I didn't like resting this. I thought you start them, get yourself in position, see what's going on in the other game. You monitor the situation and make pivots if you need to.
Which is what everybody else did.
Yep.
Nobody else rested their starters that had something to
I love the Bears and their coach. Oh, we play football. Blah, blah, blah. You lost.
Yeah, I know. It was kind of
You should be more concerned that your team sucked.
Maybe you should have rested your starters.
Yeah.
You lost to the Lions.
Yeah, we play football crap when you stunk.
I'll be curious for everybody that's going down to the game, or if you were going down to the game, how, because you know what it is.
I'd be nervous.
You said this to where it's like we're a week, we're 9 days away from the season possibly being over.
From looking towards free agency.
And you had anxiety. One loss and you're gone.
Yeah, it's instant death here.
I don't think anybody's expecting a loss. Ray, would you agree with it at this point? You have all these injuries. Then it seemed like everybody's saying,
prepare for the worst, hope for the best.
Bad matchup. They're injured. Trent Williams. I'll bet you the betting lines went up a little bit. I'm going to look right now.
I still haven't gotten nervous, which is weird because Tuesday I was confident. I figured by Friday I'd be freaking out, and maybe I'll get there tomorrow.
No.
The one thing that did occur to me today, because I did that national show scrub this morning while I was trying to get stuff for the show today, it did occur to me for the first time that Sunday could be the last time I watch A.J. Brown in an Eagles uniform. We've all talked about it, but that was the only thing that's hit me.
Was that a big topic?
It was one of those like, well, there's been that with A.J. Yeah, well, they were trying to drum
Lane
up
Johnson's last game.
Ooh, yeah.
Brandon Graham's last game again.
But
no, man.
Not Lane Johnson's last game. But
Thank you,
BJ.
97.5.
John said you signed him to an extension, right? Multi-year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he can come back next year.
Yeah.
I'm in. Lane will be back. Now, will Lane play? That was something. Did you follow this yesterday, what was going on? So, Baldy was on with Ant on his PHLY show.
Meat locker?
And he had I gotta actually pull up the exact quote. He more or less said he didn't think he was gonna play, Lane Johnson. And yeah, so then the next day, because Lane and Baldy are tight, right? They have a close relationship, right?
Yeah.
So the next day, Baldy tweets out Lane's gonna play. He deleted that tweet.
He shouldn't have put that out because the Eagles didn't want that out yet.
So
he got a text from Howie.
He caught crap. He probably got a text from Lane. He caught crap for saying that he wasn't going to play because what are you doing? Like, don't put that out there. And then when he said he's going to play, you're right. Then the Eagles are like, what are you doing? Like, don't put that out there. We want them not to believe.
We want that to be a question mark that they have to deal with. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
So if he does play, he's going to be iffy.
Yeah, but
for sure.
I think the dude is just such a warrior.
Well, that's what we said.
Yeah, that he's going to go out there and he's going to give you everything he's got, and what he's got is going to be better than anybody else that could be in there instead of him.
So originally, Baldy said, "I don't think Lane will go, but we'll see." That's his quote. And then he did the tweet, but then the tweet was taken down. Adam Schefter on the show yesterday said that I haven't talked to anybody about Lane Johnson,
Liar.
but I don't think he did so think about it. We thought he was going to come back and play in the Bills game, and he didn't. And then when they don't play anybody against Washington, there's no need.
No sense.
Right. Like you assumed he was going to play because what was put out there
Shefty asked about it, but they told him not to report on it. Is what happened.
I don't think Shefty was even on his radar before he was asked.
That's bad radar.
Well, whatever. So
huge question.
So, I mean, I agree with you. I think he plays. It's a matter of how healthy he is and if he finishes the game.
Yeah. Can he stay in the game?
Correct.
Is it the Jason Peters thing? Yeah, you start it, but do you finish
Lane's
it?
done it a bunch of times.
I know.
this
It's
year.
becoming that a little bit, isn't it?
It is.
Both were obviously great players.
Yep. So it came as a surprise because it seemed like he was ready to come back weeks ago.
Yeah. If he was close for the Buffalo game, then this week shouldn't be in doubt.
Unless he tweaked it or he really wasn't close in the Buffalo game
back.
and they were just saying that.
Yeah. Well,
Could be either.
I tell you, I go into the game, if I'm walking into that stadium, and I won't be because I'll be on the couch. If I'm walking in that stadium, I am nervous because I could be driving home in the offseason. And this team has been so erratic this year, at times looked so good, and at times looked so poor that I don't know. I don't have anything to hang my hat on offensively. But defensively, I can hang every hat I got. Every CCM bucket I got can be hung. But offensively, I don't know. I know they're good on special teams. The punter's been great, but I don't want to see the punter.
Yep. Yeah, you've seen twice this year they haven't had a completion and a half.
Yeah, I mean, that's bananas.
It's almost impossible.
Against the Buccaneers, and I mean, come on.
So, I mean, but be curious. We'll talk to people tomorrow because I'm not. Ray actually earlier this week, Ray gave kind of a pep talk to why he was confident in the Eagles. I went and I put Eagles money line minus 235 on the BetParks app.
Based on his pep talk?
I'm telling you, I went right to it, right on the air. I went right to it.
Can we replay that? How long is it?
I don't remember it being that good, to be honest with you.
Not even your best work, Ray?
No, but
Well, it could have been my best work. It'd not be that good, but it was not that good.
But what he said was right, and it's kind of where I am right now. They're banged up. Their defense is a shell of what you think that it normally should be. They're backup. They have linebackers that weren't even on rosters that are starting.
Yeah.
Trent Williams now, and we have more information. Trent Williams doesn't look like he's going to play. Pearsall doesn't look he's going to play.
Yeah. They are really banged up. But that's now incumbent upon the offensive minds to exploit that, and therein lies the problem.
Yep. All right, coming up, take a little bit of a break from the Eagles here. News at noon coming up at noon with Ray. But the top searches of 2025, according to Google, as Mike Mitz once said, maybe it's on the other board here. I still don't know where stuff is.
Google me.
There it is. A couple criterias, total searches, and then some other searches. What were the top searches of 2025? You guys will play along with me coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic. in the house. He just asked if I was going to the Flyers game tonight because everybody's going. Casey Boy from Preston and Steve's going.
Really?
It's Mr. Fish. Fish night.
That's right. Sean's going tonight, right?
Sean Brace is going tonight. You're not. Jason,
I'll
of course,
be there,
will be down
though.
there. You're working.
Yeah. I just won't be down at the barn.
Correct. Mandatory Flyer. When are we going to do a Mandatory Flyers segment? We got at least a portion of it.
Yeah, let's towards the end of the 12 o'clock hour.
Okay. All right. I'm juiced up to talk about them. By the way, today I have to go home from work. We have this Google search thing coming up in a second. Today I'm going home from work. I have a very busy day. First of all, my daughter, poor girl, she's had a fever since last weekend. And every day we think like, all right, like the fever broke. She's good. Wakes up this morning, 101 fever. So my wife has had to work from home with sick kids. What do you do? My mom's not coming over. I don't want her to be compromised. My mother-in-law, I can't take them there. So my wife's been having to work home with the sick kids. Now this is 4 days. So the only healthy child in the house is my middle girl, and she's been going to school every day. I've been sick. My wife's been sick. So I go home today. We have to clean because the cleaners are coming tomorrow.
Oh. It's definitely been a fun week in the Marks household.
But you told me before you don't understand the clean for the cleaners.
Not at all. Not in the slightest.
Do you have cleaners at your house, Jason?
We have, yeah.
So this isn't a constant, and they're not every week. They come every like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's what you need.
Like
a deep clean.
Yeah, I need a deep clean because we have to clean for the cleaners.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would always say, Raina's coming tomorrow. Make sure you have all your clothes picked up, all the trash and everything, because that's not her job. Her job was to come in
and clean, not
wipe
pick up your
everything
crap.
down, vacuum it. And she'd come in and do an amazing job.
But the problem is, all of our Christmas stuff is still up, and like my basement.
I did it yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, because my wife is Orthodox, Coptic Orthodox, and Christmas was just yesterday. Coptic Christmas was yesterday, so we always keep it up. This weekend, I got on that way. I'm going to do it. I got to take the outside decorations down.
Well, it's going to be nice out, so it's a good weekend to do it. It's going to be 61 to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, we did it yesterday. Well, my wife did most of it, but I had a doctor's appointment, so I brought all the bins up and everything.
That's what I
came back, and she had it all packed up and everything, and then I just went and reorganized it and stored it and everything.
All right.
And it's a weird feeling when you take it all down because everything is so much less cluttered all of a sudden.
Yep.
And it feels like, okay, now I'm ready to start a new year.
Yep. Then we'll just add additional clutter with all the kids' stuff.
Yeah, I'll go home tonight. It'll be a total gong show when I get in there.
Yeah.
Between the 2 dogs and 3 kids, the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, Jason, it's officially the end of 2025 as we're a couple days or a week plus into 2026. The top searches in 2025, the top Google searches in 2025. This is according to Google, by the way. So you can't argue with Google searches that they're telling you these are the top searches.
Google me.
So if I just said general U.S. searches, what would you say can you name one of the top 10? Think about it. Ray, also you. What would it be?
In the top 10?
Yeah, and a lot of these some of these are big news stories. Other ones are just stuff.
Can I go first?
Yes.
What is 6'7"?
It is not.
What?
Somehow.
Oh, what a stupid year it was.
Well, so that's a top trending search for another category, but not overall.
AI or like ChatGPT?
So Charlie Kirk's assassination was number 1.
Yeah.
So that's the news story.
Yep.
Number 2 is a film, a kid's film that you may not know about because your kids are older.
Oh, K-pop Demon Hunters?
Number 2.
Is that right?
Wow. Number 2 of the
one
top,
daughter got into that, yeah.
Of the top searches.
Yeah, it was a phenomenon for a very short period of time.
Still is. Number 3 is something that my kids combined have probably 12 to 15 of them.
Oh,
TikTok?
No. It's the little
stuffed animal.
Yeah, what the hell is that thing called?
They call them Labubu.
Oh, damn.
Labubu.
So, quick story on that.
No, we call them Labubu.
My daughter got a Labubu and talking about it in school, and her friends are like, "No, your Labubu is it's fake."
Bobo, you had the Bobo Labubu. I remember that.
There's a lot of contraband Labubus out there. So they actually make it easy for you to know if it's contraband or not. But she came home and she refused to believe that it wasn't fake because they told her it was fake because they had the fake ones.
Yeah.
I'm the only dumbass that would spend $60 on one of these Labubus. So I had to go and you take whatever and you're able to go to a website to register or to find out that it actually is real. For people that know Labubu, it's like a Cabbage Patch Kid from when we were kids.
And they were all the thing. And what was the other one? The Furby. Remember the Furby?
I did not, but you had kids.
Yeah.
You had kids, yeah.
Another top search.
You probably won't get it. So tariffs was one.
What about like technology, like phones?
iPhone 17 also made the list right now. All right, top trending athletic searches. Ray, I'll start with you and think about it like this. The number one on this list is he's a bigger star than he actually is on the field.
Travis Kelce.
Shador Sanders?
Correct. Number one.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Because
top
he's
trending
Deion's kid. Yep.
I would have thought he made the list, but not number one. It just shows you how big of a story that was. All right, number two, Terrence Crawford.
Oh, nice.
How about Micah Parsons? He was a big story out of Dallas. And
Number
going to Green Bay.
5 on the list.
That was a big one.
Cooper Flagg, number 3. Number 4, I hate this guy. Hate him. Football, NFL. There's actually 4 and 6 on the list. I hate them both. They're both New York Giants. Scatterbo is number 4.
He blew his leg up.
Jackson Dart's number 6. Sophie Cunningham, number 7. Number 8, this is unbelievable, because Shiloh Sanders, he's not even in the league.
Shiloh Sanders?
Is number 8. The power
Really?
of Dion and what he created with Shador. Yep. Wow. Dion's not even on this list. Number 9 is a Philadelphia athlete.
Oh,
I would have never guessed this.
Wait. I think I might have seen this.
Well, don't say it if you think you know it.
All right.
Not Embiid.
No. Eagle.
Okay. Hurts?
Ray?
Brown?
Devontae Smith.
Incorrect.
Oh.
In the Super Bowl, a double punch to the face of Patrick Mahomes. Jalen Carter, number 9 on the list.
Gotta be helped probably by the NFL season
the
kicking
spit.
off. Yeah, the Spitgate.
Yeah.
Spitgate helps.
And Spitgate.
That'll rise you up the ranks.
And number 10 is
Tim Saunders on there? Sorry, Timmy. I had to. I know you don't want to accentuate it, but.
Well, anytime Howard Stern's playing your audio and reacted to it.
That's why.
Justin Rose, number 10. I don't.
Golfer.
Yeah, I don't. Who cares? All right, what do kids say? Top trending searches for what do kids say is the criteria.
6'7".
6'7", by far number 1 on the list,
Thank
right?
you.
You know about
man,
the 6'7"?
I know about it, but I don't care.
I love the 6'7".
Everybody,
You know
they try
why?
to explain it to me. I don't care.
A Philly rapper in a Skrilla, is that his name? In a very short video, said 6'7", and then some NBA players. Was it Lonzo Ball or Lamar Ball? LaMelo.
LaMelo Ball.
Well, it said 6'7", and then it became big.
Became this whole thing.
Yep. Sigma is number 2.
That's a person?
I don't know what it means.
Okay.
Isn't it a Greek letter?
41. Yeah, but why do kids say Sigma?
Oh.
I don't know either. 41.
Sigma Cal Tappa?
Riz makes the list.
Who's that?
I don't know what any of it means.
What about Tate McRae?
No. Good boy.
How about Taylor Swift?
So these are parents searching what do kids say. So they're searching what is 6'7", what is Sigma, what is good boy.
I don't get it.
Skibidi toilet. Not only Skibidi, also Skibidi toilet. What is
That's
that?
Snapchat.
I don't even know what it is, but back when I was doing a podcast seminar at Boys and Girls Club, they all just, can we do our podcast on that? And it's like, that's not it. No, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm old. Leave me alone.
I don't know. I've never heard that before. Now I'm going to have to Google it.
Yeah.
I'm going to add to it for 2026. I'm going to Google it. Aura and then chat is final on that list. There you go.
So
Top
they just
trending
type in
searches.
chat.
Yeah, top.
That's a lame. You got to be a little bit more specific than that.
Well, old people don't necessarily know what to do with Google.
Ozzy didn't make any of the list, huh?
No.
Passing of the great Ozzy Osbourne.
No. Labubu's are much more important.
Than Ozzy. Well, Ozzy's left such a legacy.
DeepSeek, number 7 on the list of the top trending searches.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't know either. Government shut down the FIFA Club World Cup. And this is still in the U.S.
That was the news, though, where it's coming to in the U.S.
And
right?
it's in the U.S. So if it's not in the U.S., that's not it. And tariffs, number 10.
Nothing football related.
No.
That's amazing.
Because football runs the country, but I guess it's for a search, they're not searching anything with
Who are the
football.
most searched out people?
I would have to look that up.
Like the Pope's got to be on there because there's a new Pope.
Herb from Northeast Philly.
Herb, Northeast Philly.
Hope Leo. Yeah, Herb from Northeast Philly.
Okay.
Ray Dunn. How about that?
Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was a huge story, so that would
Yeah,
probably
that's
be number one.
an enormous story. Yes.
Right. There you go.
What
All
about
right.
the mayor of New York?
Yes.
That's got to be on there, right?
How do you pronounce his last
Mamdani,
name?
is it?
Yeah, he's number
Mamdani.
6 on the list, actually.
Okay.
There you go. All right, coming up. News at noon. There's more Harbaugh talk and a new fan song and more. Yep.
Fan song?
I don't know anything about it.
Love it.
That's coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
And ready for Sunday. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Eagles 49ers matching up Sunday at 4:25 at Lincoln Financial Field in the wild card round. Quarterback Jalen Hurts met with the media yesterday talking more about how the goal remains the same.
Every year is different, but it's always the same goal. If you don't have that mentality, then, you're not in the right place. Ultimately, it's just coming in, treating every year as its own year, but also knowing exactly what we're playing for and putting ourselves in positions to play for championships.
These two teams right now looking at their injury reports. Lane Johnson, Jalen Carter, Dallas Goedert, Jacoby Dean, Marcus Epps all limited practice yesterday. 49ers without Trent Williams and Ricky Pearsall at practice on Wednesday. We spoke about that with James Palmer earlier in the show. We'll talk to Herm Edwards about the Birds coming up at 1 o'clock. 76ers won 131-110 over the Wizards last night. Joel Embiid leading the way with 28 points. Back in action Friday night. Flyers back on the ice tonight against the Maple Leafs at 7 o'clock. You can listen to the game live right here on The Fanatic. Pre-game coverage beginning at 6:30. This update is brought to you by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit MAD.org. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for the Sixers Flyers, the best Birds talk in town. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5 The Fanatic Talk.
Were there some big ones?
Give me a little vine. Vintage Ozzy vocals. Is a shot in the dark.
Did you see any of the late Ozfests?
All of them.
All of them?
Rock radio.
No, I remember being at one of them where it was like Weekend at Bernie's with him.
Well, yeah, he was being led around on a leash at one point.
Yeah,
when
that's what happens.
Pantera was the co-headliner, and I was very tight with the guys from Pantera. I was backstage with them all day, and Ozzy came walking by with his handler, Randy, and it was like he was on a leash. He had his eye black on already, like the eyeliner, and he come walking by like,
yes.
It's a helicopter.
And he came out on stage and he just started cursing.
Yeah. Oh, in the beginning of the show, he's just getting people lathered up.
Yeah, he
He's
was good
a
at it.
maniac. Great performer. I saw him hundreds of times. And one of the greatest, funniest dudes you'll ever meet.
Yeah,
Like,
really?
Yeah. The three nicest rock stars I ever met. Dave Grohl, of course, from the Nirvana and the Foo Fighters.
Right.
One of the nicest guys in the world. The guys from AC/DC, Brian Johnson and Angus Young. I've always said, if you're a rock star, you can't be a D. Can't be a jerk. Because those guys have sold more albums than all of you. And they're the nicest Australian dudes in the world, and they're tiny.
Right.
And then Ozzy.
What about
So
Anthony
authentic.
Kiedis?
Never met him.
Apparently the biggest jerk in the world. Everybody says that.
Is that right?
Axl Rose. Well, Mike Miss will tell you Anthony Kiedis is a jerk. But
Yeah.
I've heard the same thing from other people.
Yeah, I imagine he's pretty enigmatic.
Yeah, that's one word for it.
Yeah. In other words, a douche.
Yes.
Douche nozzle.
All right, we'll get back to it
I miss Ozzy.
after the news at noon.
This city needs its news.
Now, it's time for
I'd like to be remembered as a good newsman.
the News at Noon
It's the coolest story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane.
with Ray Dunn.
All right, the biggest story right now, at least in football, and football kind of runs the world right now, especially on the doorstep of the postseason, is the Harbaugh fallout. Quite a few things coming down the line here. We'll get to Adam Schefter and the Insider Wars, but I want to start with Mike Tomlin because it was the who's going to lose their job bowl, at least it turned out to be on Sunday night. And Tomlin got a chance to address really the tragedy of Harbaugh losing his job. And the tragedy of Harbaugh losing his job is that there is just no more patience in sports anymore.
Our stories will forever be, interwoven. This rivalry that we've been fortunate and honored enough to be a part of. I just got so much respect for him and how he's gone about his business. And we've certainly had some legendary battles over the years. In terms of him being let go, unfortunately, I just think it's a component of today's sport culture. More than anything, I just think it's a larger example of today's sport culture in terms of not a lot of patience in the entertainment component of what it is that we do. There's just not a lot of longevity.
I mean,
He's there 18 years.
Yeah, this really isn't all that complicated. This has happened for decades in the NFL. It happened with Andy Reid over however many years ago. It happens. Sometimes change is better for both parties, and in this case, I believe it's better for both parties, for sure.
Tomlin's got a lot of stones to throw around a lack of patience. He's been there for 19 years. He hasn't won a Super Bowl since 2008, his second year.
He hasn't won a playoff game since 2016. And let's not act
That's
like
a decade.
Harbaugh, it's been listen, Harbaugh was he's a Hall of Fame coach. He's going to be known as the Ravens coach. He's going to go somewhere else, and I'm sure he's going to do great. But sometimes it's
You got to move on sometimes. Nothing lasts forever. And for Tomlin to be so disingenuous about it, I think it's just today's society.
No, it's not.
Give me a break. 18 years.
You know why? Because he's looking at Harbaugh like him.
Yeah.
Because he feels like, because he knows the fan base. They were chanting to fire Tomlin at the game.
Fan base is done with him.
So he feels like that, and that's his way of saying, like, watch what happened with me, and it's not fair to me. Like, listen, it sucks. You're a Hall of Fame coach. You won Super Bowls. You've had a lot of success. When it's time, it's time. By the way, it's time for Tomlin, too.
Yeah, big time. He's been there 19 years in Pittsburgh. And that franchise has had 3 coaches in my lifetime and your lifetime. Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Tomlin.
Why wouldn't he want to go somewhere else now at this point? Seriously. And believe me, I'm probably the wrong guy to ask because after a couple of years, I'm ready to go somewhere. I'm like Larry Brown of radio.
Yeah, I'm not a grass is greener guy. Like, I like staying. I don't like jumping around a whole lot because that's just my OCD, my ADD. I like the predictability. But, I mean, it's probably daunting. He's been there for so long. He's raised his family there. I mean, remember when he was hired, he was like the youngest coach ever in the NFL.
Don't you want a new challenge, though?
I think he looks at every season as a challenge.
And I thought it was okay. Fair enough. I thought it was interesting that
It's like college coaches.
I thought Harbaugh. Everything that everybody said was that if Harbaugh's not back, it's because they mutually agree. No, they fired him.
Yeah, they canned him. Kind of like they fired Andy Reid here.
I was surprised. Yeah, they
fired Andy.
They did.
They did it with dignity, but they fired him.
Yep.
They absolutely did. And they gave him the going away thing, that thing that took place at NovaCare after. And he got the exit he deserved, and he understood it.
And FYI, it worked out for Andy. It worked out for the Eagles. Life went on.
We needed to go through the hell of Chip Kelly to get to the promised land. It was Andy. That's our Andy Dufresne moment. Living through Ray Rhodes, Rich Kotite. Well, Kotite first, then Ray Rhodes, Andy Reid, and Chip Kelly. We crawled through it to get to that Andy Dufresne beach in Shawshank Redemption.
And Doug was Andy Dufresne.
He was. He didn't know it, though.
All right, keep it with the Harbaugh conversation. Adam Schefter went on Pat McAfee because if you remember, Ian Rappaport basically said, hey, locker room lost for Harbaugh. That lost him his job. No confidence from Lamar, and that trickled down to the rest of the team. Schefter said, whoa. That insider you heard on NFL Network doesn't know what he's talking about.
Wow.
I don't think that information right there could be any less true. The players were coming into his office crying, hugging him, sending him goodbyes, calling him one by one. If they felt that way, why are Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers and Isaiah Likely and all these players coming in, crying, hugging him, giving him these long, warm goodbyes? I'm not buying that.
Well, I mean, that's 3 players that he said, and it's not the quarterback. And they can have the source wars, and Schefter can be snippy about what Rap Sheet said, but I mean, the reality is I've heard nobody come out and I didn't hear Lamar Jackson come out and say, "Yeah, he didn't lose me."
Yeah.
That's not true.
That's not a decision I would have made.
And by the way, it was I saw a lot of people say this, and I actually Googled it. It was reported that they fired Harbaugh and he didn't get to say goodbye.
Yes,
so
that's not right.
I don't know if that was the case or not, but if that was the case, how could he be getting hugs from the players?
Yeah, some players do linger a little longer after the end of the season.
But also, both things could be true. You could have had all these players that legitimately thought it was the wrong move, and they were upset because they love John Harbaugh, and have other players that are saying, no, it was time, and he did lose the locker room.
Yeah.
This is pretty clear. Lamar Jackson didn't see eye to eye with John Harbaugh or the offensive coordinator. And once you lose him, you lose the locker room.
Repeatedly didn't see eye to eye.
Right.
That's the key.
Right. All right.
All right, last one for you. There was a redheaded man that wrote a fan song about Jordan Love. It was not me. But
How about that?
It will be the reason why people picked the Bears this weekend. Take a listen to this Packers fan and his new single, Jordan Love.
Never cared about the weather. Green and yellow, baby, never seen you looking better. I just need a Super Bowl, baby. Bowl has never been enough. I need something to hold, baby. I can be a Jordan Love. Let me be a Romeo, baby. We can take a chance on us, yeah. I just need a Super Bowl, baby. Bowl has never been enough.
Well produced, but
Yeah, it did. It sounded good. Now, Ray, are you rocking out to it? I saw you in there jamming a little bit.
Bears by 3 touchdowns, unfortunately. The Eagles win, they're going to Chicago.
James Palmer did say in his hit with us today that the Packers have as good of a chance to win the Super Bowl as anybody, or something to that effect.
I don't believe that.
I didn't disagree. I didn't agree with him.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. They can win this week, though.
Oh, for sure. I was just trying to pull up the lines on BetParks right now. I know it was a pick 'em at one point.
That's very
Packers are 1-point favorites. You got to be kidding.
Are you kidding me? In Chicago? Wow.
After that song came out, sorry.
You didn't
Fan
like
songs never work.
Well, that's true.
Anytime you drop a song as a fan ahead of a playoff run, it's bad news for you.
Well, Mikey Miss, you say the Utes. The Utes today are very good at making songs like on their phone.
Sure, everybody can do it.
Yeah, like you have all these apps that like make you sound good and auto pitch and all that stuff. Our day, we were cutting tape.
Damn right.
I'm trying to punch Johnny Marks in for the chorus. Not working.
No, I actually have some singing I need to do for an upcoming segment we have.
Oh, yeah?
And it will not be auto-tuned. Correct.
You know what? I got to
You
take
sing a
that
lot?
back. Sirianni Love did work for. So
It did.
Sirianni Love worked. Maybe Jordan Love will work.
But it is like, but that's a radio bit. That's not a fan song. Even though Bill's clearly a fan, right?
Or a family member.
Right. I mean, might be a third cousin. But one of the things that I grew to despise, not because, but when the Phillies went on a run to the World Series, when the Eagles, because now they have 2 Super Bowls, you get the 15 emails from some guy that's like, "Yo, you got to play my song. You got to play my song." Like, no, I actually don't have to play it.
Yeah.
Because there's too many, and they're all about the same, which ain't great.
Yeah, I just go with Conklin's. Like when the Phillies were in the World Series in 08, he did "Tonight's Going to Be a Great Night." Is that a Black Eyed Peas or something? With Fergie?
Yes.
Yep. And he did that as Charlie Manuel. Hey. Tonight's going to be a great night. You know, it was hilarious. Other than that, I'll take a pass. But I do like the hype videos.
Yeah.
I used to mention it on the air when I was doing the show with Harry, and I still have people that DM them to me now. And I'm always like,
the fan hype videos?
Yeah.
I like when the Eagles do them, they're great.
They're phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like the stuff the Eagles put out on their socials after the Super Bowl, the insights was incredible.
Yeah, they're a good job.
Like that organization, that franchise doesn't miss anything. They serve the fans.
Yeah, they as well run
credit.
As well run as anything we've seen in my lifetime. That's for sure.
Believe me, we talk about it, the Flyers, because they don't make mistakes. Like you can't have self-inflicted wounds when you're trying to compete for people's attention and dollars. It's hard.
More Fly coming up later this hour.
How about that?
Flyers conversation with Jason Bertidis. Because I'm legitimately pumped up for it.
You want to break down the 2-1-2-4 check for me?
Well, we did that yesterday, so that would be redundant.
All right, yeah, good point.
To do it 2 days in a row. Good point. But, we might talk a little fourth line, third line center. So actually, that was Dvorak. Ray was breaking it down.
Yeah, well, he's their top line pivot right now.
But Ray was saying in a few years he won't be.
No, he won't be. No. But they got the Leafs tonight, which is always fun when Toronto comes to town.
Oh, man.
They haven't won a cup since, people, why haven't we won a cup in 50 years? The Leafs haven't won a cup since 1967 when the team was six teams. They haven't even made a final since then.
Yeah. All right, well, that's coming up
Flyers
later.
Getting fun, though, John.
That's for sure, and we will talk about them later on this hour. All right, so.
Brindy, how you doing, pal?
It is, do we have that? The Brindy, how you doing, pal?
We got to find that. Mikey missed. Oh, when he did that.
All right, we'll say that for the Flyers segment because
what's happening, pal?
I went simmer. What's happened? But then I mocked him and he fell for it. If you remember,
yeah,
because I did it on purpose. He did the Brindy, not realizing it, but criticizing him. He slept.
He slept
in the Brindy. How you doing, pal? Oh, that was awesome.
Never live it down.
All right, so Jason's driving in this morning, and here's John Kincade on the morning show, and they're actually talking about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has asked the question, and he gives a very brief answer. Jalen Hurts, he's I don't know if he's moody or whatever it is. Like sometimes he'll give you a little something focused. Sometimes he gives you nothing.
Yep.
I've done interviews with him where he's been great. I did a radio interview with him where he was borderline rude.
Yeah.
Like just giving you nothing. It's like, all right, well, I don't want to do the interview if you're like, at least try to give me something or don't do it.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to have you on I'm just going to be like.
If I'm trying to pull everything out of you.
Right.
No, we have to have a conversation. Like, I'm not going to give you a question, you give me a 2-word answer, I'm going to move on to my next bullet point. That's boring. That sucks.
Right, just don't do it. Like, if you're going to do it, at least try a little bit. So, I don't even care what he does at the press conference. But they played it, and John Kincade thought that it was.
Well, he was just asked about this time of year, why he rises to the occasion. He just said some people are built with it. And that was the end of the answer. Didn't elaborate on it.
And I'm
fine with.
I don't think that's particularly rude.
No, I thought it was a fine answer.
It's just short. But John was saying that when Nick Sirianni speaks, like, he's not disrespectful. He said that it was disrespectful to give an answer like that.
Because he didn't elaborate.
Right. So here this morning, John Kincade.
Nick Sirianni, by the way, gets treated in this town a lot of times very disrespectfully.
He absolutely does. I'm glad you said that.
And he is, I think, completely respectful.
Always.
I've never seen him.
Sometimes he talks too much.
But I've never seen him answer disrespect with respect.
I think Nick Sirianni, for all he's accomplished, is immensely disrespected.
I would agree.
In this city.
And
I really do.
And I've never seen him feel the need to be snippy, disrespectful, anything like that.
He never is.
He did something very disrespectful, though.
What?
He brought his kids to a press conference when he was in the crosshairs.
Yeah, he did.
That's very disrespectful to the media.
Well, I mean, it's
I know a lot of people are like, media.
By the way, it's disrespectful to his family, and I was told his wife very unhappy when he did
really?
That's what I was told.
Breaking news.
Very unhappy when he did it.
Yeah, it's not what you do.
But
you don't put your kids in that.
But that's one instance. I would agree
overall, yeah.
He always handles the media with great respect. He tries to give thoughtful answers. He does a great, honestly, Nick, since that first press conference, you never expect for him. He does a really good job with the media.
So much good.
He's able to not give information on injuries and things like that, which the coaches don't like to do. But Chip would be a total jerk. Chip was a jerk.
He was an ass.
He really was.
He was you had the word. He's a jerk.
Yep.
It was like
unnecessary.
And it was condescending tone.
He tried to show up to reporters and things like that.
It was like you have no clue what I'm doing. I'm doing quantum physics.
Right. You're just some scribe.
Yeah. Go get your calculator.
But that was the Checo with him. He said Sirianni is completely disrespected in this city. Would you agree with that? 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. That's also the text line.
Do you disrespect him?
Probably sometimes.
I do in way I
call him a dummy sometimes.
See, I don't call him a dummy.
I'm the dumbest coach in the world.
Right.
I think he panders sometimes. It seems that way to me, but his players don't see it that way. You know what I mean? Like he came in with like the Delco shirts, and it was almost like trying too hard to win us.
I'm
over.
okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
okay.
You're ingratiating yourself to your community.
I don't like read the room, bro. You just had no completions in the second half, and you barely hung on to beat the Bills. And by the way, the only reason you won was because Josh Allen missed a wide open 2-point conversion. Otherwise, you lose that game
because he got happy feet. There was no pressure there.
And he's acting like that they just won 37-3, and it was a dominating performance, and the offense was
hell
humming.
Yeah, and they emasculated the defense on a 12-minute drive in the third quarter.
Last
year.
Too often I see frat bro behavior.
Yeah, well, you see that like when they missed that field goal, when their kicker for the Commanders just hit the upright from like 6 yards. And he was like pumping his fist. I'm like, you just dodged a bullet, dude.
That behavior when he had the Frank Reich revenge game when they beat the Colts and he was like crying in the press conference. Like, but like that's, you never hear me really talk about that, but that's the reason why when he does stuff like that, that's when I don't like him.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, there's a certain,
I don't love his personality.
There's a certain, you know what, Jason? I don't think he connects with the fans because of the things I'm talking about, like running out into the tunnel and yelling at the fans and then being like, "I love this bleep." It's like, all right, dude, like really?
Yeah, you're not on the team, man. Like you're the coach. Like
works with the players.
It does though. The players like identify with it, and they see a guy that's willing to go to the wall for them, and they're willing to go to the wall for him. So that's a huge element of coaching, though, too.
For all that he's accomplished, Ray Dunn, is Nick Sirianni completely disrespected in the city? Yeah, for sure.
If he were to leave after this season, say they make it to an NFC Championship and lose, where would he rank all time in Philadelphia Eagle coaches? Or just Philadelphia coaches?
A lot of people would still, I don't know how, but a lot of people would want to say Andy Reid's a better coach. Nick Sirianni has more success, but Andy Reid's a better coach.
But Doug Peterson won the first Super Bowl. That would be like the couch.
Right.
And, then you would probably go to Dick Vermeil, would get in that list. I don't think people still think of Buddy Ryan as a great coach.
But you know what, though? Like, Doug won a Super Bowl, but then still had success, but did ultimately fizzled out and was gone.
Well, he could have gone to another one the next year if Alshon makes a catch.
Nick's made the playoffs every year that he's been here.
Yeah, and gone to 2 Super Bowls and won one.
He hasn't fizzled out.
No.
So I would say the best coach in history, Eagles history, is Nick Sirianni. Yeah. You have to.
Well, I mean, look at the winning percentages.
Yeah.
694.
With that being said, though.
It's not good, John. It's historical.
With that being said, there's certain coaches that you attribute a lot of their success to the head coach. Sean McVay. Trying to think of some other guys that would be out there where it's like if that coach left, the organization's in trouble.
Yeah.
That's Sean McVay, right? If Nick Sirianni leaves, this is about the organization more than it's about the coaches, right? You can find other coaches. Doug won a Super Bowl, they got rid of him. They went back and they've been in 2 Super Bowls since then.
Yeah.
Nick's doing a good job, but Nick's doing a good job specifically at what they need him to do. They hired Fangio. Fangio's almost like his own head coach, the head coach of the defense.
Yeah.
They hired Jim Schwartz before Doug Peterson because they value the defensive coordinator, then we'll figure out the rest. I think a lot of this, Howie is sitting upstairs saying, well, I'm kind of running things from here. They're calling plays or whatever. Yep, he is.
He's a puppeteer. And he wants to hire somebody that's not going to meddle in what he does, be an asset to him, look at stuff, but ultimately, I'm the decision maker. And there's no blurry line there because it was a blurry line with Andy Reid for many years. Tom Modrak and as Andy
was
got
it
more
Joe
power.
Banner?
Yeah,
You're right.
And it got really
Like that with
murky.
Chip, too, because it was Howie, then it was Chip.
Yeah, then he stuffed Howie in the closet.
Right.
And then Howie rose again.
And he hasn't
Only
looked
be
back
better.
ever since.
No, he hasn't. He's looked like a genius.
Wow.
And, when he was in the closet for that, 2 years it was, when Chip kind of pushed him out, he was going over to EPL teams and talking to managers there and refining his craft. I don't know how he knew he'd get another shot. Because a lot of times you don't.
Yep.
And he did.
And
He made
again,
the most of it.
That's Jeffrey Lurie. He just didn't fire him.
Nope.
In fact, I think he
Saw
gave
his
him more.
value.
He gave him more money, and he said, "Listen," and he knew. He said, "Listen, Chip, you want the power? All right, but if it doesn't work out, you're gone." And he whacked him
in season.
And he sure did, and he brought Howie back, and Howie cleaned up the mess quickly. They won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Things kind of went south with Doug. He cleaned that up quickly. They've been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. It's almost fake.
But the thing is one of the hardest things to do as a manager is realize when it's time. When you made a wrong decision to not double down on the wrong decision out of being stubborn. You just got to go, okay, Doug was right for then. He's not right for now. Move on.
It was a great decision because if Doug comes back, they're not in the Super Bowl. Maybe they get back to another Super Bowl, but they're not in 2 and 3 years.
No, they're not. And that's why Kevin Petullo will not be the offensive coordinator.
Correct. Yeah, because Lurie knows that's not going to work. So does Howie. Give me what a texter said, Ray.
Sirianni makes me cringe sometimes.
He really does. I mean, like more than he should. For being a Super Bowl winning coach, he makes you cringe a lot. It is not the MO of a Super Bowl winning coach. Even some of the newer ones, you don't see any other coach yelling at fans like that, or yelling at his own fans, or running out of the tunnel.
To be fair, of the new age, who's winning Super Bowls?
But Dan Campbell.
Yeah, but Dan Campbell's also kind of like an old school. I know he does the kneecap biting. The new age coaches, no one's winning a Super Bowl.
Right, McVay got a Super Bowl in there. Other than that, run by Reed. You go back before Reed, it's Belichick, Doug Peterson. Like, was Doug Peterson still like the 5th most recent head coach to win a Super Bowl?
I guess
he might be like 5 or 6. Like, because Reed's won a couple.
Of the repeats, yeah.
Yeah, Belichick. I mean, there hasn't been like
there hasn't been
Sirianni's-
7 different head coaches that have won. You're right.
Yeah, is he the Gen Z normal of a Super Bowl winning head coach?
So this is what we can expect from the NFL. These meathead fraternity brother coaches.
I'm not saying he's an extreme. I'm just saying we're comparing him to Andy Reid, Belichick, and Super Bowl winning coaches of yesteryear.
That's why Colarula likes them. They're a lot alike.
Oh yeah,
2 meatheads.
Yeah, lunatics.
So over the last couple of years, Sirianni last year, obviously, then Reed 2 in a row, Sean McVay, Bruce Arians.
I forgot Arians.
Oh, and that's
forgot about that. Then Andy before that, Belichick, and then Doug.
So Doug's 6th.
Yeah.
All right, more of that coming up. Also, Sal Powell gave us 2 keys for an Eagles victory. One has to do with the quarterback battle. We'll play that for you coming up next. Middays with Marks.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Days away from the Niners. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles and 49ers match up Sunday at 4:25 at Lincoln Financial Field. Quarterback Jalen Hurts preparing for his 5th playoff run as the Eagles quarterback spoke to the media yesterday and was asked about his performances in big games.
Why do you think it is in your career you've played better or where you've elevated your performance in these high-stakes games?
Some things are in you. I'm just answering your question.
Look at the injury reports from the 2 sides. On Wednesday, Lane Johnson, Jalen Carter, Dallas Goedert, Nakobe Dean, Marcus Epps were all limited in practice for the Birds. Notable that the Niners were without left tackle Trent Williams and wide receiver Ricky Pearsall at practice on Wednesday. We spoke about that to James Palmer earlier in the show, and we'll talk to Herm Edwards coming up at 1 o'clock about everything going on with the Birds. 76ers won 131-110 over the Wizards last night. Joel Embiid leading the way with 28 points. Back in action on Friday. Flyers back on the ice tonight. They got the Maple Leafs at 7 o'clock. Pre-game coverage begins at 6:30 right here on The Fanatic. This update is brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers. Flyers, the best birds talk in town. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5TheFanatic.com.
And Herm is best known for what on the station?
What is it? What's his phrase?
He's not Fred's not quarterback now.
That's right.
He go quarterback. He go quarterback. But he's Fred's not quarterback.
He's always so combative. Herm, how you doing? How you think I'm doing? It's like, I'm just saying, how you doing?
Nice.
I mean, I'm doing good now. You doing good now?
The now is like Herb's okay when he does the now.
No one cares.
Okay. All right. Hey, hey, we have some Drexel basketball tickets.
Who they playing?
A 4-pack. William and Mary. If you haven't been down to the DAC, it's a great place to watch basketball. It really is. So this is Saturday, January 10th, so it's this weekend coming up. I got a 4-pack. Here's what we'll do. And you can get tickets yourself at drexel.edu/dragon tickets. We got a 4-pack. Let's do the text line, Ray. So what do we want? So the text line of 610-632-0975. Do we want to text the word dragon?
Like it.
And what we have to do, like a certain, like whatever texter to text dragon.
Let's go with number 4. Shane Blakeney is the leading scorer. He wears number 4. Let's go with number 4 on the text line.
That's
So
great.
you're saying number 4?
Yeah, I'm waiting for the 4. See, he doesn't know. He doesn't know about setting up the drops.
Put it on a tee
getting there.
for him.
He's getting there. But anyway, who's the leading scorer or the 4th leading scorer?
Shane Blakeney. No, leading scorer.
He's the leading scorer.
He's the leading scorer. He is.
That's what you get when you get one of the voices of the Big Five here in Philadelphia.
You get good institutional knowledge.
Damn right.
Of the Drexel Dragons.
Zach Spiker is one of my favorite coaches to talk to.
There you go. All right, 610-632-0975. Text Dragon, and if you're the 4th texter, you'll win. And by the way, if you can't go to the game, don't try to, because I want somebody that's going to be able to go and use the tickets.
Yeah, no, if you're going to go and enjoy it.
It's a great experience.
It's going to be a great sports weekend. Really is. I mean, you got a home NFL playoff game on tap this weekend. 425, 430 on Sunday?
Yep.
Kidding me?
And next segment.
Get the crock pot out.
Next segment before Herm, Flyers talk with Jason Martinez.
That's right.
How about that?
We're going to do that during the break.
Yeah. What? Do what during the break?
The talk?
Flyers? No, we're going to do it next segment before Herm.
Oh, okay.
We still got a segment before Herm.
I got to bone up.
All right, so get ready.
I can't believe Herm's coming on.
Yep.
Phenomenal.
He's coming on now. All right, so Sal Powell gave
He go quarterback now.
What is this from, Sal Powell? Is he on with
Takeoff podcast with John Clark.
Oh man, how did I miss this? Normally, I'm a big listener because there's not enough podcasts out there. So anyway, here's Sal Powell.
The Eagles match up well against the Niners if they do two things. Don't let Brock Purdy leak out and beat them on 3rd down with long runs, which he can do. Don't knock Brock, I like to say. Don't knock Brock. Brock is a good athlete. He's super accurate. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the National Football League. Don't sleep on Brock Purdy because he can play. That's number 1. And number 2, the Eagles offense must be better on 1st down.
Totally agree.
Yeah, what he said about Brock Purdy, I think Brock Purdy's very good, and he's sneaky in his athleticism, and he can maneuver around in that pocket, and he can avoid the rush, and he can beat you with his legs.
He's a competitor.
Yep.
He competes like to the whistle every down. He's gonna spill it out there, which is why I don't think he makes it to the 4th quarter.
Yep. If there's a lot of 2nd and 6s, the Eagles probably win.
He's in trouble.
Yeah, the Eagles probably win. If they're 2nd and 6s, that means that they're getting a lot of 1st downs. If there's a lot of 3rd and 8s, even with that defense, that is not the way for the Eagles to win games.
Other than the win in Buffalo, what was the biggest thing to come out of that game? It was the play of Jalen Carter.
Monster.
He was on tilt.
Yeah.
Unreal. He's going to be a big problem for Brock Purdy and the way he makes guys around him so much better. And continue to use Brandon Graham inside. He's been good.
He's been really good. For
I'm
sure.
stunned.
Yep.
He was on the beach.
Well, I mean, listen, there's at least one football guy on the station that saw it coming. I'm not gonna say who that is. Right
On the Midday Marks program, was that Sean Brace?
It's not Ray, that's for sure. Ray still is against him coming back.
I just want to go back to Monday when John said, "You know what, Ray, you were right. You were right about Brandon Graham. It was tough to watch him in Week 18. Only took 3 days.
It was no, it was tough because he's out there with a bunch of scrub. Well, actually, he's out there with Jordan Davis. By the way, Jordan Davis was able to make it. Is he out of the hospital yet? Did we find out if he's out of the hospital?
Full participant. His injury designation was played Week 18.
Jalen Hunt survived. He didn't pass away after playing in the game against Washington.
Good.
So you were able to play in the game without being injured? Because that's what's assumed is if you played the starters, everybody would get injured.
Yeah. You play scared, you end up getting injured. By the way, I looked
So you
this
just
up.
don't play them.
I looked this up. We were talking about Nick Sirianni. Top 5 coaches in NFL history win percentage in their first 4 seasons. He's in his 5th now. We know his win percentage now is .694. But first 4 seasons, Guy Chamberlain, not Wes Chamberlain, .784. John Madden, .759 winning percentage. Vince Lombardi, .738.
Who's Guy Chamberlain? I've never heard of him.
He coached. He has a connection to Philadelphia. I know that.
Okay.
George Allen was a .712 win percentage. Nick Sirianni, .697 through his first 4 years.
Well,
Guy Chamberlain was in like the 40s, I think.
Guy Chamberlain played for the Canton Bulldogs in 1919 as a player. He coached 1922 through 1927. Yeah, so I mean, listen.
He's got a crazy story, I think.
That's a fair comparison to compare a guy that coached in the 1920s.
Yeah.
Right.
Sirianni would have been eaten alive in that era. There's no way
He
Sirianni.
coached the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets.
No, so he did. He coached here.
Yeah, he coached here.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
What do you think those morning hits with Angela were like for him?
Oh, coming up on the telephone lines, we got Guy Chamberlain.
He probably would have fought with him.
Yeah, no doubt.
What's the crazy story?
Why didn't you run the ball?
Oh, man.
I haven't done that in a while.
That's too much. All right, so we have Herm coming up at 1 o'clock. I can't wait to talk a little hockey. Everybody knows me.
Now, how deep in the weeds do you want to go?
No, I don't want to go in the weeds.
You don't want to go. You just want to stay on the
surface level.
All right, you want to stay on the beach.
Well, I mean, I'm not capable of getting too much into the weeds, but here's what I'm capable of doing: being excited and looking forward to the next game.
Because you loved like that late '90s, Gary Thorne, Bill Clement on the call, First Union Center,
Legion of Doom into Keith Primeau and those teams that went the 5 overtime game against Pittsburgh. I was up. I would not go to bed during that game. Into that. And then when you stop making the playoffs, I mean, I was there for Giroux and whatever. But
they made it every other year, but never advanced past the second round after 2012.
But I am definitely one of the fans that I need a reason to tune in. And I tuned in the other night. So I knew, who would have thought Anaheim would be the biggest game that.
Can we play them more?
Yeah.
I mean, geez, right?
It was a playoff atmosphere down there.
Totally was. There were tons of vibe. It was Ed Snyder Legacy Night, too, which is he'd be looking down and going, yep, that was my intention.
Yep.
And, the thing, I was telling Bundy this in the pregame show. I rewatched this game from 1998. Flyers-Penguins, the second half of a home-and-home after Kasparaitis knocked out Lindros. And when I tell you that game was an absolute war.
Well, you could feel the tension.
You
could feel the tension in the stands.
I could feel it coming out of my TV on YouTube.
Unbelievable.
All these years later.
I remember that game, too.
Oh, my God, that place was bananas.
All right, coming up, Mike in Collegeville, congratulations. You have the tickets to see
Collegeville.
To see the Dragons play. Coming up, Flyers conversation. Herm Edwards coming up at 1 o'clock. Don't go anywhere.
Now, a Birds playoff update on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Getting onto the practice field. I'm Ray Dunn with this Birds playoff update. It's brought to you by Corona. Join Andrew and Ricky Bowe this Sunday at 4:30 for the Birds playoff watch party at New Deck Tavern, the official 97.5 The Fanatic watch party location. $5 Corona Extra and $5 Modelo Drafts. Giveaways and exclusive Go Birds tees sponsored by Corona. La Playa awaits. The Eagles and 49ers got back to the practice field yesterday. Looking at the injury reports, Lane Johnson, Jalen Carter, Dallas Goedert, Nakobe Dean, Marcus Epps, all limited for the Birds. 49ers without left tackle Trent Williams and wide receiver Ricky Pearsall at practice. Jalen Hurts met with the media yesterday, talked about not running the ball as much this year.
Well, I think the season just kind of going the way it has. The approach this year and how the games have been called with this coordinator, with Coach KP, it's just kind of going that way. And so just kind of taking it in stride and try to give my best for whatever position I've been put in.
We'll see if they dial it up offensively to see Jalen run a little bit more in the postseason. I'm Ray Dunn with this Birds playoff update on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Zegras, Dvorak gave it up. Zegras scores. Trevor Zegras against his former club has his 16th of the year. Zegras wires one from a sharp angle high into the net to tie the game at 1.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, Tim Saunders on the call. Yeah, so Gauthier comes out and scores the goal, and it's like
Power play. The power play goal.
Man, like really, this is how it's going to be. Nope.
Yeah.
Zegras scores 2. There's fights.
Garnet Hathaway was a freight train. He destroyed a couple guys.
There was big hits on the ice.
Oh, yeah.
There were game misconducts. Everything
Zellweger.
Everything from when I used to love hockey, it's never going to get, like, the headshot shouldn't be there like used to be in hockey.
Yeah,
but
there was 2, though, in that game.
There
And
were.
Brink and Drysdale both took one, and I think they're both out tonight.
Yeah.
Talked to Talk yesterday. Neither are going to play tonight. Mishkov will be back tonight.
Okay.
That's
Because
good news.
Michkov was out. He had a bad foot or
Yeah,
ankle.
he caught one off the wheel.
Right.
And probably swelled up on him and couldn't get his foot in the skate, but he was back at practice yesterday. He'll play tonight.
So I'm a tried and true Zamboner. Jamie Lynch and I started the Zamboners because when things get interesting, we pop up. And
you guys are in Chubb status now. You're not at full mast.
No, things are interesting, man.
Yeah, you're at full mast?
Watching the game the other night brought me back to where you could feel it. And you could feel it from the crowd. You could feel it from the players. One thing Rick Tocchet said earlier this season that really impressed me because he gets it. And when you hire somebody that gets the city on top of being a good hockey coach, they were really flat at home. I forget which game it was, but they were really flat at home.
It was against the weekend that they lost the back-to-backs against Toronto and Calgary, November 1st and 2nd.
He came out and he said, you don't play like that at home. No. Those fans pay a lot of money to come see you play. They deserve more. You don't play like that at home. And I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what?
Called out his team.
He did. But also, it's true. Flyers fans for so many years now has spent a lot of money going down there and more or less have been disappointed.
Oh, it's been bad, John.
For a long time.
Yeah. Look, they have earned the status they're in with that 4 or 5 year period because they weren't very good. They were directionless. And when Keith Jones and Danny Briere moved in there and Dan Hilferty, they have a strategic vision that they are still applying today. Like people go, oh, they signed Dvorak, the rebuild's over. No, it's not. It takes time. It takes a long time. Like I remember watching the Cup final last year, and they're doing the player introductions. They're like, in his 11th season in the NHL, Connor McDavid. I'm like, 11 years?
Yeah.
What? They had like 5 number 1 overall picks in like 7 years, and they're just getting to their first final, right? It takes time. And in today's game, it takes a little bit of luck.
It sure does.
Like Florida had a couple key guys for Hagee. Waiver wire claim. Gustav Forsling. Big time. Another waiver wire
Ryan and I were just talking about that last week. It's unbelievable.
But, like, you find guys like that, and depth in a 32-team league is hard to find.
Right. You can come out flat against Calgary on, was it that the New Year's Eve game? Yeah, because you had a big win, and then you come out and you're flat on the road on New Year's Eve.
If you're going to stink on the road. Gord Stellick always says.
At home, no excuse for coming out flat without energy.
Well, it's interesting because that first home game after a road trip out of time zone is always a huge hiccup. The Sharps, the gamblers, always look at that one and go, that team always struggles. I don't know why. Bundy says, you get back home, you sleep in your own bed. You just
kind of
subconsciously think it's going to be easier, and it's not. And that little line, that little edge matters. But because they played Anaheim when they got back home, and all that storyline with Cutter Gauthier coming into town, Zegers playing his former team, Drysdale as well, mitigated that lack of energy, and they fed off the crowd. And look, the team gave the crowd something to feed on. It was an awesome environment. Zegers rose to the moment, and that's a big moment. He's offended that he got traded for Ryan Poehling in a second-round pick.
Yeah, good.
And Danny Briere made a great deal, and he's a point-per-game player here, and he's electrified. So, yeah, it was awesome. Tonight's going to be a lot of fun. Scott Lawton's going to be back as Toronto comes in. But the fact that they haven't lost back-to-back games since November 1st and 2nd is very telling. I told you
November
Dallas,
1st or 2nd?
November 1st and 2nd. That was they lost 5-2 to the Leafs on Saturday and lost to Calgary 2-1 on Sunday. Tocchet called them out, said that stuff about the fans, and also said, we have one tipping goal. We have nobody going to the front of the net to pay the price. Unacceptable. And
so the message is being heard
worked.
Loud and clear.
It worked. I mean, they haven't lost back-to-back games since then.
Wow.
Best in the NHL. I mean, even Dallas lost 6 straight. They're the second-best team, I think, in the league.
Flyers favorites tonight, -130 over the Maple Leafs. How good can this team be this year?
I mean, we're at the midway point, so you have a decent sample size. They're second in, well, technically third in the division because of points, but points percentage-wise because they've played less games. They're second in the division. They're the fourth best team in the Eastern Conference. They're in great position because the league's so tight and there's so many three-point games. A team can win 6 out of 7, and it's like you're on a treadmill. You don't go anywhere. You're in the same spot in the standings. So they're in a really good position. Got to see how they are after the Olympic break, health-wise and all that. But they're deep, too. That's the thing. You can roll 4 lines with this condensed schedule, and you've got 3 deep pairs with Ristolainen coming.
When's the Olympic break? Like, how many games left in the season is the Olympic break?
I think there's like 26 after that, and they'll play them in about 41 days.
Okay. So, I mean, how much time do they miss?
Almost 3 weeks.
Okay.
20 days, I think it is.
Because the last thing you want is to be playing really well and then lose momentum. But
That's
there's
the
enough
Flyers'
time.
way.
There's enough time left to where you can kind of regain it.
Flyers playing great in 1920, and one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference since November, and then the pandemic hits. And then they haven't had a home playoff game, John, at the building here since 2018.
Oh, come on.
They made it in 2020 in the bubble, but nobody was there.
Right.
The last time people were going to hockey games in shorts here with the block party and the whole thing was 2018.
And Ray,
too long.
I was at the block party when they were in the finals. Mike Missinelli and myself out there at the block party.
In 2010.
Yep.
Remember, the one thing that's great about playoff hockey is that the dimes come out. The best-looking women in the Delaware Valley.
It's a good crowd.
Yeah. It levels up, man.
It does feel like this is like, I think in previous years you questioned, like, is this sustainable for the whole season? Like, is this team real? The team seems real.
Yeah, because
the talent seems real.
Because of the consistency factor.
Right.
You're a plus team in goal differential, and when you haven't lost back-to-back games in that long in a condensed schedule in a tough league, and that's very parity-driven. That tells you, because you see a lot of teams, they win 3, they lose 3. They win 4, they lose 2. Flyers just aren't doing that. They're just gathering points, and they're doing it in tight games. They've got good goaltending. They got much more talent. Guys are slotting differently. And they're being coached well. Despite what people think about Mishkov's minutes.
Ray, here's my biggest worry with the team. I have now latched on, and I'm excited. Normally when that happens, the team
love that
goes
you're
in
on
the
the
toilet.
bus.
Yeah, the team goes in the toilet. I did with the Sixers. I said this is different. The Sixers are good this year. They lost immediately.
Yeah.
They lost to Denver.
9-man Nuggets without Jokic, Murray.
Yep. I'm worried tonight they come out and they lose because I'm talking about the Flyers and I'm going to watch.
I think it's a tough game for them coming off of that emotional game on Tuesday.
That's
I
a
think
good
it
point.
is a tough game for them, and the Maple Leafs are a team with a lot of expectations and in a bad way right now. Not in the playoffs and chasing it with teams between them and the last playoff spot. So it's an important game. It's very tight, and you got to stay in the mix.
Herm Edwards is coming up next.
I can't wait. I'm not a Flyer fan now,
but do they have a franchise quarterback? Is Jalen Hurts a franchise quarterback?
Is he a franchise quarterback now?
I think he's a franchise quarterback.
I do too.
What does Herm think about the Eagles' decision to rest their starters? I'll be curious to see if he has any. We asked Mike Golick about it earlier this week.
He dodged it,
and he gave them. Well, I can see both sides of it. All right. Well, I can't see both sides of it. I can.
Well, pick a side, Mike.
That's not what he's ever really done.
No.
But
Herm will.
We'll ask Herm.
He played football now,
but he's also a big Eagle, and I don't know if he wants to throw the coach under the bus. We'll see what he says about it, and also his thoughts on the game. The great Herm Edwards coming up. Also, we'll do a How About That in the 1 o'clock hour after Herm.
I love it.
You know what you say?
How about that?
That's next. Middays with Marks.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Getting ready for Sunday. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Eagles 49ers matchup Sunday at 4:25 at Lincoln Financial Field. Quarterback Jalen Hurts preparing for his 5th playoff run with the Birds. Met with the media yesterday and talked about how every year is different, but the goal remains the same.
Every year is different, but it's always the same goal. If you don't have that mentality, then, you're not in the right place. Ultimately, it's just coming in, treating every year as its own year, but also knowing exactly what we're playing for and putting ourselves in positions to play for championships.
Looking at Sunday's game, the injury report from each team's practice yesterday. Lane Johnson, Jalen Carter, Dallas Goedert, Nakobe Dean, Marcus Epps, all limited practice for the Birds. 49ers missing left tackle Trent Williams and wide receiver Ricky Pearsall at practice on Wednesday. We spoke with James Palmer earlier in the show. We're about to speak to Herm Edwards, talking everything Birds, getting ready for the postseason. 76ers won 131-110 over the Wizards last night. Joel Embiid led the way with 28 points. Back in action on Friday. Flyers get back to action tonight against the Maple Leafs at 7 o'clock. You can listen to the game right here on the Fanatic pregame coverage beginning at 6:30. This update is brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at crohnscolitisfoundation.org. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and the best bird stock in town. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, we have our podcasts on there, on-demand content. You can listen live. And if you can't listen live, wherever you get your podcasts, just make sure you look for us. Search Middays with Marks. Leave a nice 5-star review, as many people have been doing. So there's no excuse. If you want to listen to the program, Jason Bertitas, listen whenever you want to, live or on demand.
Take us with you.
Damn right. All right, joining us right now to discuss everything in the NFL and the Eagles is an all-time Eagle, an all-time great. And we've been watching him for many, many years on ESPN.
Best.
He is the best. His name is Herm Edwards, and he joins us right now. Herm, thanks for a few minutes. How are you?
I am well. I think if you're a Eagle fan, have to be excited about the opportunity again getting in the playoffs. When you think about how difficult that is, 7 new teams have won divisions, so that makes it kind of interesting. That kind of puts it all in perspective. And obviously, Philly, it's a team that going into the season, a lot of high expectations. And at times, you wonder, are they going to figure this thing out? And I think toward the end, they've got kind of a grip on what they want to do offensively, and hopefully that shows up in the playoffs for them.
Herm, I was wondering your honest opinion on what the Eagles decided to do on Sunday, resting their starters, still with a lot to play for. Now things had to work in their favor as the Bears losing to the Lions, but the Eagles rested their starters. It didn't end up working out for them. They didn't win the game, so they didn't get the number 2 seed. But in that particular case, when you were the head coach, would you have done it differently?
Well, depending what the circumstances are, but I know I've entered a couple times when you get to that last game, you've got a playoff berth. I believe this, and I'm built this way. Nothing trying to second guess another coach. Football players play football. That's what you do. That's what I remember as a player. And I don't lose sight of that. That's what they do. They sign on and play football. And when you have a game, if you're available, you need to go play football. Now, that doesn't mean that in a situation that Philadelphia was in or I found myself in as a head coach that you're playing the whole game. But, I'd get you in there a little bit, play a little football and get you out. And that's just how I handle it. And I think every coach knows this team better than I do. But I learned a long time ago when I first got involved being a football player. That's what you do. You play football.
You play to win the game, Herm. To use your
Well,
famous quote.
I don't even want to get into that one. That's a whole different story. I don't want to get into that one.
But
you're correct.
Your quote has held firm for many years. You play to win the game. You don't play just to participate. It doesn't matter if you have no wins. You still play to win. I mean, that's a famous quote from you.
Yeah, but you know what? That's not only – that's in life.
Agreed.
Okay? It's bigger than just the game. It's life. When you compete, and this is how we grow up in our world that we live in, this society, you got to compete. And when you compete, you're not competing for second place. Last time I checked.
Herm, how do you look at this team? We know that the offense has struggled at times. The game against the Bills, they didn't have a completion in the second half. And that's happened twice this year where they didn't have a completion and a half. But yet this defense seems like really could carry them. But how do you like the Eagles' chances as we enter into the playoffs?
Well, you mentioned the defense, and there's some outstanding defenses right now in the playoffs, especially on the west side of it, on the NFC side of it. Obviously, Seattle is outstanding. They play really good defense. Philly is keeping the points down. They can play good defense. The Rams are kind of that kind of team. Denver is another team that plays really good defense. I think when you watch the Eagles offensively, and I lived back east all those years when I was playing there, and you tell this to people on the West Coast, they don't understand it, but I think people on the East Coast understand it. It's a little bit of a pothole offense. When you hit the pothole, you're going really smooth, and all of a sudden you hit one of those potholes, and your car goes boop, boop. That's their offense. It looks like a pothole offense at times. It can go 3 plays and out. And you go, what just happened?
26 seconds off the clock.
Right. You just mentioned it. Last week, they had a whole pothole second half. They just never got anything going, right? And that's just, you got to live with it now. The good part is when you have a defense that can keep the score down, you can do that. You can survive it. And we've seen teams survive it. Denver survives it at times. Seattle survives it at times because they have a defense that doesn't allow a lot of points. And so you can survive that.
Herm, as a former coach, and you've always been a wordsmith, a great motivator, even as a broadcaster and a radio guest. What would your message be to this team that won a Super Bowl last year, that's had this kind of uneven regular season with now a brand new opportunity and offseason ahead of them?
Don't take it for granted that you're going to get in the playoffs every year. You got a second chance now to do something that a lot of teams have never done. Can you go back-to-back, right? And you got a chance. It's a clean slate. You're in the tournament. It doesn't matter what happened during the regular season. It really doesn't matter at all. You are in the tournament. You've played in this tournament before. You understand how hard it is to get there. You understand the pressure of it all. Use it. Use it to your advantage. And I think if you're Jalen Hurst and those guys that have been in this situation, you go, hey, guys, we got to embrace this, man. We were that team. We went to the Super Bowl. We were the first Eagle team to go. And I can remember like it was yesterday. We lose to the Raiders. And in the offseason, we say, man, we're getting back. We're going to get back in the playoffs. We get back. We lose in the first round to the Giants. Just like that. It's over.
It's fleeting.
Yep. Herm, is the style of football that the Eagles play with, and they can't run the ball this year like they did last year, which they were incredible doing it last year. You think they're actually better in the playoffs because of the way the defense plays, and it's a little bit different in the playoffs? The way the Eagles play, is it better for them as they enter the playoffs?
Well, I'm not going to say it's better because one of your best players needs to be able to make some explosive plays from the running back position. That's the easiest guy to get the ball to. Why? Because you just turn around and you give it to him. He's the easiest guy to get the ball to beside the quarterback. Hike the ball to the quarterback, so he's going to get the ball. What he does with that kind of tells you and dictates what you're going to do offensively. But the runner's the next guy involved because you can just turn around and give it to him. And from there, look, we knew going into the season, he rushes for 2,000 yards. I said it last year. I said, he ain't going to come close to 2,000 yards. Can't do it. It's impossible. No one's ever done that. But, with that being said, their defense is good enough to where they can hold off the fort. Football's a simple game when you really break it down. You get about 3 possessions a quarter, right? And if you get over that, maybe 4 possessions at the most, but it's a 12, 13 possession football game. What do you do with your possessions? I've always said this. If you can advance the ball, if you can just advance it and get to about the 35, get to the plus 35, you're in scoring range. If you can do it. How many times can you do that? Where you either kick a field goal or you get in scoring range and you score. Well, generally you get, unless they turn the ball over, you're going to get about 12 possessions. Maybe 13 in some games, according to how it's working. What do you do with those possessions?
Herm, one of the things we've been talking about today is about Nick Sirianni. We know the numbers, 694 winning percentage in his first 5 years. It's not just good, it's historical. But we have this conversation, is he disrespected or underappreciated here? He doesn't call plays, but he has this one thing that you also shared, the ability to be a leader of men and motivate them year in and year out. How much of an NFL head coach's job is exactly that?
Oh, I would say at least 75%.
Wow.
Because you're leading grown men. They got, first of all, I've always told people this, when you get the title of a head coach, players understand he's the head coach. We respect the title. But you know what you got to do? You got to earn their trust. And you do that every day you come to work. And you do that during the course of the week. And you do that when you lose some games. How do you react to the players? Will the players play for you? That's what you want. And as long as you know the players will play for you, you got a chance every Sunday. But you got to earn that. It just didn't come because you're the head. The title gives you respect. Oh, he's a head coach. We're going to respect the head coach. But you got to earn their trust now. And that team, you can say what you want. At the end of the day, they trust the coach. They do.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. It's like they know he's the head coach and they're supposed to respect him. But like we've also seen, and I've seen where after a little while, guys kind of roll their eyes at the head coach because
tune him out.
Yeah, they tune him out. And say what you want about Nick. This is his 5th year. Guys are still playing as hard as they were day one when he came in here.
That's all you can ask. You can't ask for more than that. At the end of the day, and I told the players that. When I first became a head coach, I said, hey, man, I've been in this league a long time as a player, as an assistant coach. And, they respected all that. And I told them, I said, guys, I got to flat earn your trust, man. I get it. I was you. I was you as a player. I get it. I got to earn your trust now by the way I go about doing things. And it doesn't just start now. That started in training camp. It starts on the off season. Every time you have a team meeting, they're checking you out. What is he going to say today? What are we going to do different? Why are we going to do it different? They want to know all that.
Yeah. You hold the balance of their career in your hands in a lot of ways.
You do.
And
you do.
And you got to earn that trust every day. You can't have a slip.
Yeah. No. Exactly right. It's funny. It's funny, and I hate to be long-winded, but
go.
I'll tell you this. My first year is horror hit America. It was 9/11. And we had lost to the Colts. First game of the season, me being the head coach of the Jets. And the league at that point didn't know what they were going to do. Called league office. We're going to make a decision on Thursday. I said, what? Whether they cancel the games or not. I said, we can't play football. What are you talking about? So I went to the GM and to the owner, and I said, I don't know what the league's going to do, but we're not going to play. We're not getting on the plane. We're not going to play. And so the owner said, Woody says, can you do that? He said, how do you do that? I said, we don't get on the plane.
Real simple.
And he said, what does that mean? I said, well, if they play, we're 0-2. I'm a rookie head coach. I lost my first game. Let me tell you something. When the league decided not to go on Thursday, my players were already gone. They didn't even come to practice. I said, you go home, be with your families, man. It ain't time for football. I earned their trust that day. And anything I asked them from that day forward, whatever I asked them to do, those players say, well, Coach says just go, man. Just go do it.
Man, I forgot.
A great story.
I forgot you were with the Jets, and how challenging was that season? Because even after you guys come back in a couple weeks, the whole focus of the world is on New York, and sports were one of these things that kind of made things better in New York too.
Yeah, and you know what made it great? The last game, we make the game up, and we got to go to Oakland. When the Raiders were the real Raiders, when they were in Oakland, not these Vegas Raiders, when they were in Oakland. And if we win, we're in the playoffs, right? We got to kick a 40-something yard field goal at the end of the game to win it. I didn't even look. I just looked at the stands, and I said, if they're throwing their cups and their hats off, we won. And if they're clapping, he missed. It wasn't even close. He would have made a 70-yard field goal. That thing went right through the middle. I just kind of smiled.
It was a 53-yard field goal. In those days, 53-yard field goals weren't extra points like they are today, Herm.
Rare.
Correct. And kicked it. I didn't even look. I just said, hey, okay. But it goes to show you, in life, I always tell people, hey, man, just do the right thing. We know right and wrong. Just do the right thing. And it all works out when you do the right thing.
Herm Edwards, you're the best. Do you think the Eagles win this weekend?
Well, I'm pulling for them. I think it's a good game.
Can you suit up?
Look, the one thing, no, I can't suit up. Look, the one thing, I got one hit left, but I can't suit up. I think what they're going to deal with a 49er team that they know this. You got to stop the runner. He's the offense. He's got 2,000 yards running and catching. Now, defensively, unless they bring 5 guys, they have no pass rush. They got 20 sacks. They can't get to the quarterback. So this will be an interesting game, to say the least.
We'll see if they can go on a run, Herm. You're the best, man. I appreciate you calling.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. There he is. The great Herm Edwards now.
Over-under on now.
To win the game.
Over-under on the nows? Slammed the over, didn't he?
Yeah, but he also used now that wasn't a now. He actually was using the word now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think he went over on the nows. That's about what I thought.
That's about what you thought? Maybe the
3.
use of now as intended, not he's a good football player now. At the end of a sentence,
I think
as a punctuation.
I think he had 3 nows.
Well, I think he had more than that.
Picked up later in the call.
Did it?
Yeah.
You got to know
the volume.
He had
really
back-to-backs at one point.
Yeah, he went now.
Yeah.
Honest.
Well, it's kind of like with her. So when I worked with Mike, we used to have the Victorino segment, and you knew when they were coming. And we would give an over-under, and you knew when they were coming.
You're talking over-unders around 25.
There was a lot of you-knows.
Mm-hmm.
With Herb,
okay,
Ray knows when they're coming. Ray will hold his hand up and almost like cue it. You can sense when the Herb okay is coming.
Because of his cadence.
Correct.
It's like watching a roller coaster, and you're like, it's about to fall.
Well, it's when he's like resetting to the next point. Is that when he uses it? The okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and then he's pivoting.
Yeah, well, the thing, he's almost difficult sometimes to have as a guest because he'll end his thought very abruptly.
And the
you
one
think
time
he's going to go on more, but he doesn't.
And the one time he ended the point I thought, and then he actually wasn't done, and he was continuing. He's like, sorry for being long-winded. He could have just talked for 12 minutes straight.
Yeah.
I would have
We
no
could have went to the bathroom.
He is one of my. I forgot he coached the Jets 2001.
Yeah, I did too, and that was the Vinny Testaverde team against John Gruden's Raiders team with Ty Wheatley from Michigan.
That went to the Super Bowl, I guess.
Yeah, with Rich Gannon.
The following year.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
They're a 10-win team.
Yeah, Testaverde threw a 40-yard touchdown to Lavernius Coles.
Yep. Wow. They get a block punt for a touchdown in that game.
Mm-hmm. Curtis Martin, who was a great running back for them.
Curtis Martin's a great running back.
Wayne Corbett. You know who was on that team? Anthony Becht.
Was he?
Yeah, now his son.
Rocco, going to Penn State.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yep, love it.
Yep. All right. Well, there you go. That's Herm. What Herm said that because Herm's he can give analysis, but it's also Herm's like a motivational speaker.
He's a philosopher.
He certainly is, man. He's the best. But what he did talk about the game was San Francisco has 20 sacks this season. And as banged up as the Eagles are on the offensive line, yeah, no, if they, you know who led the team in sacks this year for San Francisco?
I don't.
Former Eagle
Bryce Huff.
He had like 4.
Nice.
The Bryce Huff Bowl.
Yeah, and he had those. He had them early in the season too. Huff. I knew he had after a couple weeks. People were like, "Oh yeah, got rid of Bryce Huff. Nice move, Howie."
I think it's so funny that Herm's most famous quote is, "You play to win the game."
You
play to win the game.
I actually thought of it after that when we came in the next day. I was thinking like Herm, it's right. Like you play to win the game, and Herm said it during the cut, which was, "I would have started him."
Yep.
Oh, I would have brought him out there. You play.
You can play the starters.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, the full cut is you play to win the game. You don't just play to participate. It doesn't matter if you have no wins. You still play to win.
Right.
You play to win the game.
Every other single coach in the NFL, when there was something to play for, even if it was unlikely, played their players.
Yep.
I know nobody wants to hear this because the Eagles fans very strangely didn't want to get angry at the team for what happened on Sunday. I'm still.
You felt that they kind of wanted to give him a pass on this one?
Oh, they were furious that what we were doing. I thought honestly, I thought I was going to come in on Monday and it was going to be one-sided, and everybody would be like, "Yeah, you dummy Sirianni." Meanwhile, I felt like I was in the minority.
Really?
Right? Would you agree?
Yeah, I felt like there was a lot more people being like, it doesn't matter. Just line them up.
Yeah, we got a lot of, they'll beat anybody. I don't care.
Well,
but that's not the point.
To me, you could have played your starters to get you in a comfortable position, monitor the other game where Detroit was up, 13-0, 16-0, and go based on that. At the end of that game, they should put Devontae back in. Yeah, because it's contradictory. You don't want guys to get started, but you put him in there to get 1,000 yards when you didn't put Saquon in to get 2,000 last year.
It was stupid to put Devontae in, but the guys were like, you weren't going to put your starters in at the end of the game. They were suited up. You could have.
Yeah, I would have said, boys, go get warmed up in the back.
I mean, he was never going to do that.
No.
He was never going to do that.
That would have killed the trade value of Tanner McKee.
They did kill the trade value of Tanner McKee.
He stunk.
He was terrible.
Terrible.
Bad play calling. Friggin' Tank Bigsby didn't have a carry in the last 17 minutes of the game. He's your best offensive player out there, and you don't give him the ball.
No.
Tanner McKee was horrible. He dropped back 45 times.
Yeah.
So people can bitch about that they played the reserves, which is me. They also did a terrible job managing the game. Sirianni didn't kick a field goal. He went for it when he could have taken the points.
The one play that really bothered me about Tanner McKee is when he had the 2nd and 1.
The first down where he threw it?
Yeah. I mean, he could have got 7-8 yards easily.
They punted.
And they ended up punting. And they worked a whopping 26 seconds off the clock with that 3-and-out. He decided to throw that ball. Yeah, it was a good play on the ball. But if that coverage is within a mile of the receiver, you just run and get the first down.
I think you run and get the first down regardless because there's nothing you can stop that. Everything else can happen.
Move the chains and fight again.
Yep, because your receiver can drop it. Even if he's wide open and you deliver it perfectly. We've seen it 1,000 times.
Yep.
All right, 610-632-0975. Middays with Ark Thesperantidis. Ray, 610-632-0975. A special How About That? Coming up with Colin Cowherd, Mad Dog Russo, and another Waymo story.
Oh, my God.
I saved this one for you. I knew you were coming in today.
I want to bring up the pants for Mike McDaniel again because I do not have the pants that he wears.
You don't? So
no, he's got the Achilles out and exposed.
You've seen the pants.
Oh, I got a picture of him right in front of me. This guy, I don't know how he's a leader of men with these drawers.
Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Closing in on the postseason, I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Eagles and 49ers match up on Sunday at 4:25 at Lincoln Financial Field. Quarterback Jalen Hurts meeting with the media yesterday was asked about playing at big games.
Why do you think it is in your career you've played better or where you've elevated your performance in these high-stakes games?
Some things are in you.
Yes, in you.
I'm just answering your question.
Looking at the injury report for the Birds from Wednesday, Lane Johnson, Jalen Carter, Dallas Goedert, Nakobe Dean, and Marcus Epps all were limited at practice. 49ers missing left tackle Trent Williams and wide receiver Ricky Pierce all practice on Wednesday. We spoke with both James Palmer and Herm Edwards about the game on Sunday and everything going on with the NFL postseason. You can catch those conversations one more time on our website or the Fanatic app. 76ers won 131-110 over the Wizards last night. The Flyers get back to the ice tonight against the Maple Leafs at 7. You can tune into pregame coverage right here on the Fanatic at 6:30. This update is brought to you by Michelob Ultra. Bill Colarulo and Michelob Ultra head to Lucy's on Chestnut Street this Friday, January 9th from 7 to 9 p.m. for an Ultra Access event featuring $5 Michelob Ultra drafts in Center City. You could score tickets to the Fanatic Suite for an upcoming Sixers game, sponsored by Michelob Ultra. Please enjoy responsibly. Also brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org. I'm Ray Dunn for 97.5 The Fanatic.
This is a long intro, though, right?
It is. But there's a kick point right here with the drums.
Is that where you send it?
Yeah, unless you had a really big walk-up, you could. But, yeah, you would probably go there where it really kicks in.
Like, smells like Teen Spirit. Where's the... What's the post on that?
And then when the drum kicks in, boom, boom, when Grohl kicks in with the drums.
Because you don't take that all the way to the start of the lyrics because it's too long.
Too long, yeah.
And that's not really the start. Like, that, the post is boom.
But the post is when that drum kicks in.
Right.
Absolutely.
There you go. See, Ray, you don't know about this with the rock radio.
No, I don't.
I miss my rock radio.
When I look back at my radio career, one of the things I wish I would have done was be work at a rock radio station.
Oh, we had a blast. When I was at YSP, we had an absolute blast.
I had to
Great
try
staff.
Yeah, no, that YSP until the end was great.
Before it became the Talk
right
station when Bigby took over.
And it wasn't really, it wasn't my style of.
It was called active rock.
Yeah, it wasn't my style of music at that time. But
too heavy for you?
I wasn't a fan of I was never into. I think we talked about this before. Like, I wasn't Guns N' Roses and Metallica or any of that stuff. But I listened to Howard Stern. So Howard Stern's on in the morning. John Russell during the updates, the great John Russell. You end up leaving YSP on for at least a little bit.
Yeah. DeBella came on after for a while. I was there the day he got fired. I did the first show when he got canned. So I get a phone call. I did a show the night before. It was a Sunday night.
And he was middays after Howard.
Yeah. And I got off the air at like midnight. And I get this phone call 7:30 in the morning from Tim Sabian, who's a maniac. Like, when he has a heart attack, he's going to take out 6 people around him. Right? He goes, "What the F are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm sleeping, dude. I was on the air until midnight. I got home late." He's like, "What are you doing today?" I'm like, "Nothing." He's like, "Well, can you come in and do some production for me?" I'm like, "All right, I'll come in." He's like, "Get here by 9:30. Come down to my office." So I go down to his office at 9:30, and he meets me and he goes, "You're going to do the midday show today. Don't say anything to anybody." I'm like, "All right." So I go up and I'm waiting in the studio during Stern, and DeBella's in there with his producers, Nipsley and Andrew Swank. And
I know Swank.
DeBella gets called downstairs. He comes back up. He walks into the studio. He grabs one of his headshots and a thumbtack and walks over and puts on the memoriam wall and goes, "I'm out of here. I just got fired," and walked out.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And John came over here and had a 2-decade run at MGK.
At MGK, yeah.
Yep.
Took anybody's crap. I loved working with him.
Yeah,
he was awesome.
He's the best. All right. Let's get to, how about that?
When you see something great.
How about that?
When you see something you hate.
How about that?
When you see something you just need to tell someone about, hit them with a...
How about that?
Who? All right. Are we starting off with Cowherd here? So, listen, I think Cowherd's the best in the business, but a lot of times it's like, dude, you're contradicting what you said a week ago, which contradicted what you said a week before that, what's contradicted the week before that.
Yeah.
It's like he's got writers that write this stuff. He's just an amazing. He does give it an amazing
delivers
delivery.
it, man.
Yeah, but he's a great talk show host. Here's Cowherd. He's talking about the 2 quarterbacks and who gets credit for the quarterbacks. Listen,
Brock Purdy's got the best choreographed offense in the league to elevate him. Doesn't mean he doesn't have talent. And Hurts has the best trade manipulator and draft picker, arguably, in the NFL. But let's not kid ourselves. 12 of the 14 teams in the league have a first-round quarterback. There are some rare examples, and Purdy and Jalen Hurts and the Bizarro Bowl on Fox are examples that if you're good, not special historically, you get a Shanahan, you get a Howie Roseman, yeah, you can win a lot of games. I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be spectacular.
the Bizarro Bowl. It's so funny. So a lot of people have said
this delivery is so cool.
A lot of people have said, we talked about earlier in the show, that Shanahan's system is quarterback friendly and Brock Purdy, as good as he is, that's a product of Shanahan's system. I haven't heard it quite like that with Jalen Hurts, to where it's like Hurts has success not because of the coach, because of Howie Roseman, the GM.
Yeah, it's kind of where we started today.
It is.
What I sent you is the disrespect about Sirianni, because the guy who picks the groceries where Sirianni makes the meal, he's picking A+ ingredients.
It's so good.
Yeah. If you pick crap ingredients, I don't care who your coach is.
So last year, and I think that's disrespectful to Jalen Hurts, just saying, because what he did in the Super Bowl. But still, we had Kevin Foley that was doing weekly hits with us, talking about the offensive line before. He said you had a once-in-a-generation team last year. You had offensive line Pro Bowlers across the board. You had a 2,000-yard running back. You had Dallas Goedert. You had 2 A wide receivers, and then you had Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
And a defense that was number one and young and hungry and everything else. It doesn't happen. That's a once-in-a-generation team.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see if we can get back to another one right here.
And Herm brought it up, too. Somebody brought it up that, Saquon's not going to do what he did last year again this year.
Herm brought it up.
Yeah,
That was never going to happen. It's never happened.
How did it rush for 2,000 yards now?
Yeah. 1,400 yards?
Not bad.
Maybe. All right. So Mad Dog Russo on First Take, he's upset that Tom Brady, just so everybody knows this, Tom Brady's not just a part owner of the Raiders. Most people believe he's actually the de facto GM. He's going to be picking the next head coach. He's going to be picking the quarterback. Yeah, and he's making how many $35 million a year at Fox? It's crazy. Stupid. Russo's talking about it. Here it is.
I understand my buddy Aikman. He's a consultant. He doesn't own the team with the Dolphins. What is Brady doing now? The NFL is going to allow Brady to call the games on Fox and also pick the Raiders coach? He's an owner. You can do one or the other. You can't do both. I mean, this is ridiculous that the guy who's going to call a game this weekend is going to pick the Raiders coach and the quarterback and the number one pick. He's going to make the decision. You think Mark Davis is making the decision? No way. He's got Brady sitting there. Tom, pick the coach. So Brady's going to sit there now, and he's going to call the game this week in Philadelphia, and at the same time, he's going to have a cell phone going on to see who's a candidate to coach the Raiders. And that's not the way. That's bad.
He can legally tamper so much.
So the example is when he was doing the Washington-Detroit game last year, and the Raiders were hot after Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Hot after Ben Johnson. He ends up telling them no. But in that game, is Tom Brady being critical of Ben Johnson if the play calling stinks or if it's a bad decision here,
He's
bad decision there?
compromised.
Of course he's not.
Compromised.
Of course he's not. I can't believe the NFL allows it.
I can't
honestly.
believe that Dog has still got that same level of energy all these years. This is ridiculous.
He's so funny.
Mike.
And he's right. By the way, I just have to say this. Tom Brady's actually pretty good.
I did not like him at first, but I respected his perspective for obvious reasons. His resume is disgusting. But he's turned into a bit of an old school analyst, which I like.
He criticizes.
Yes.
Which I never saw coming.
And he points out things so quickly.
Yeah.
And is able, as soon as the play's over, he's like, watch this. I'm like, how are you
He's actually pretty good.
How do you compartmentalize all this? It's amazing to me. And I like Romo, but
I don't.
You don't like Romo at all?
I hate him.
Here we go, Jim.
Yeah, if you want to laugh at him.
No, when I hear Brady and I hear Romo, I think it's a big-ass game.
Okay.
You know?
When I
hear not Chris Myers.
No, I know, but when I hear Romo, here's what I'm not going to get analysis because he's going to be like, I don't know what you do here, Jim. Do you go for it or you don't go for it? I don't know what you do here.
Yeah, I find it entertaining, though.
The enthusiasm's good.
It's like when Madden did games, you knew it was a big game. Madden Summer All, you're like, this is a big game.
Yeah, they were the best.
The soundtrack of a big game.
All right, finally, we've saved the Waymo stories for you because every time we've talked about it, you've been on the show. Now, Ray the other day saw a Waymo on his way to work. He texted me and said, I just saw a Waymo.
You give it the finger?
No, I just tried to drive as fast as I could away from it.
Yeah, no trust in the Waymo like
And
me.
what was your observation of the Waymo?
Ugly.
Ugly. There's cameras everywhere,
Fat.
which it needs to be.
Yeah.
Fat, not sleek looking. So anyway, this isn't new. This is from the end of 2025. But in San Francisco, where they've been around longer, they're just testing now in Philadelphia. If you don't know, the Waymo is the self-driving Uber, essentially. Nobody's behind the wheel. So listen to the news report.
But the expert I spoke with says this technology is still learning how to interact with people. So aside from it being dangerous in the moment, it could also lead to problems further down the road.
All right, so stop it. What's happening right now is it's when she'll say it in the clip, but the bars are just about to let out. There's a guy that's on the top of a Waymo in a 49ers jersey. You saw the video. He does a backflip off of the Waymo.
He looks sick doing it.
It's like they're trying to drive through like a parade, and the Waymos don't know what the hell to do. All right, continue.
People out in the Marina District just before bars closed at 2 a.m. 3 Waymos stalled in the cross streets, seemingly confused. One young man jumps and flips off a Waymo at least 3 times with some cheering. The next day, people back here at the same intersection expressing concern.
It just seems like a huge safety hazard, like all around.
It's especially troubling to Salika Josiah Talbot, a transportation mobility policy expert and former federal advisor with decades of leadership shaping autonomous vehicle regulation.
One of the things that is happening here is we're teaching artificial intelligence that people are dangerous. We're teaching artificial intelligence that people are harmful, and that's not what we want.
Waymo confirms to ABC 7 News that the car was not driving a passenger at the time and was not damaged, but calls the incident serious, saying it condemns vandalism and is committed to safety in the cities it's operating in.
Yeah, but see, this isn't like you always want to rip Waymo. This isn't Waymo's fault. It's these losers in San Francisco.
I got news for you. If we win the NFC Championship, we'll have a road full of losers at Cotman and Bustleton.
They should not.
I'm going to send a Waymo up there.
No, they should not. They should take the Waymos off the road for anything like that. Because what happens is this Waymo's in an intersection, then all the 500 people run up on it. It doesn't know what to do.
It goes into tilt.
It just kind of starts bucking back and forth.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Oh, it's in panic mode.
It is. And it just kind of sits there. And the cop had to come and clear the intersection, and then the Waymo kind of sputtered away.
Enough with this Waymo crap. Can we just drive the car?
You're telling me on a night of an Eagles game where it's probably ride-share paradise for people that want to make money off of this, Waymo, the company, you're going to tell the company Waymo, you can't pick up any drunk people.
Yeah, it's like the purpose of their service.
Not only an NFC Championship game, no.
Look at all the money they'd lose out on.
Okay, well, but this is going to happen then.
Right. Well, they're teaching AI to hate us. Yeah. This is their fault. When the robots take over, Waymo is at the front lines.
Yeah, this is an outrage. Enough with this stupid everything. We can start doing things again. All right?
Waymo's not going away. Waymo's not going away, gentlemen.
It needs to.
Embrace the Waymo.
No, I was born way too late.
I may get a Waymo just to drive around in circles and then come back.
No, you're not going to drive around. You're going to ride around with an AI driving the car. What's the matter with you? Expected more.
1 o'clock hour of the program brought to you by Morgenstern Hair Restoration. That's correct. Great teams stick together. So does great hair. Morgenstern Hair Restoration Championship results. Visit Morgan with an E, morgensternhair.com, or call 610-831-HAIR. Coming back with the YouTube chat recap. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Every game day.
Coming up next, Unfiltered. Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo. I got a DM on Instagram here, and you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to me on YouTube at John Jon Marks Marks Media at John Marks Media. Chris checks in and says, "Hi, I texted Ray. Not sure if you saw it. George Seifert never gets mentioned when talking about coach winning percentage, but he is the top winning percentage after 4 years. So no one ever mentions George Seifert. You're right." And I quickly Googled. So George Seifert took over the 49ers in 1989 for Bill Walsh, who had Jerry Rice and Joe Montana in the West Coast offense. He went 14-2, 14-2, 10-6, 14-2, 10-6 in his first 5 years. 13-3, 11-5, 12-4. He was 1-14 and 62 in his career. He was 98-30 with the Niners in his 8 seasons. He ended up going to Carolina. Took a couple years off. Went to Carolina. Ended up 1-15 in his last year in Carolina. There you go.
Yeah, his winning percentage in his first 4 years was just insane.
Yep. Oh, my goodness. Sirianni is a close second to George Seifert.
Yeah.
Which I would agree with Chris. I never hear George Seifert mentioned. You talk about, I don't even know who. Belichick.
14-2, 14-2, 10-6, 14-2.
Right. And a lot like Sirianni, people actually say, well, how much of that had to do with Seifert?
Yeah, he had some pretty good players.
Man, unbelievable.
But he was also part of that process to move on from Montana into Steve Young. This isn't an easy thing to do.
Nope. And
they were so different, too.
And Steve Young's one of my favorite players. He was awesome.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he really was.
Real quick, before we get to the thing. Bruno Mars, Lincoln Financial Field, September 1st. Will you be there?
No.
Not a Bruno fan?
I like Bruno Mars.
You follow me, man?
No, I'm not going to any.
Bruno laugh?
I'm not going to any concert, especially at the Link.
Yeah. It's too big.
Yeah, I
Concert
can't.
loses nuance.
I can't tell you the last time I went to a concert anyway, but
yeah, concert guy.
I am not. No, it's been a long time. No, man, it's been like my younger days. Like Ray probably likes to go to concerts.
Love going to concerts.
What's the last concert you went to?
The Weekend over the summer.
Oh, that would have been
Financial Field.
Oh yeah, I like the Weekend.
I was on the floor. Listener hooked me up.
No.
Yeah.
Were you moshing?
Not that kind of concert. Not that kind of concert.
That's my kind.
But that's where you were.
Yeah, we had seats like right off the. It was nice.
You could. A listener hooked you up.
Yeah.
Free.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Great.
Wow.
We were talking about the Weekend. It was Mike, Bill, and I talking about the Weekend. I got an email saying, "Yeah, I'm working with this tour right now. You want tickets?" It's like,
really?
Oh yeah, of course. Great.
What would you have paid retail for those tickets, or on the secondary market?
Oh, I don't even want to know. I didn't even look. Hundreds. Yeah.
Hundreds.
Yeah, saved me a nice
chunk of change for Ray Dunn.
That was nice.
There you go.
Spend that on the fifth of vodka and smokes.
I'll say it. If anyone wants to get me to Bruno Mars, I'm more than happy to go.
So Bruno Mars, the song that I listen to on a regular basis for Bruno Mars features Damian Marley. It's never been on the radio. It's called Liquor Store Blues.
Is that related to Bob Marley in any way?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep. Yeah, it's great. It's unbelievably great song. It's great. So that's cool. No, when he was at the
hell of a performer, man.
When he was at the Super Bowl. And I knew who he was, but the level of respect I had for him as an artist and a talent, wow.
Prince-esque.
He was unbelievable.
Like Diet Prince.
Yep. There you go. Who's at the Super Bowl this year? Do we know or did they not?
Bad Bunny.
Oh, that's right. There was in one of the categories I looked at, Bad Bunny was the 4th or 5th most searched. It might have been musical artist, actually. You were asking
Bad Bunny could walk in the studio right now. I'd have no idea.
Me neither.
So who's a new intern?
Ray, did you know who Bad Bunny was?
I know the name. I don't think I could give you multiple.
Is he a Latino guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
Puerto
in the
Rico.
news
Puerto Rico.
when that Puerto Rico stuff happened.
Correct.
Okay, that's the only reason I knew it.
Correct. No, I think he had some bad things to say about the president, so the president was not happy when he was.
And he was prior a supporter or something, I think so.
Is that right?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea what Bad Bunny looks like.
Yeah.
What if we took a picture of Bad Bunny and then some Flyers prospect out on the street? Would more people know who Bad Bunny was?
Bad Bunny wins.
Bad Bunny or Jack Berglund?
Yeah. Let's get to the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's time for the YouTube chat recap.
How about filling us in? Let me tell you something else, man.
Watch us live on YouTube every single weekday.
I can't lie. Let me tell you something.
It's the Middays with Marks YouTube chat recap.
And it's one of the reasons why you want to watch us live on YouTube. You may get picked to be in the YouTube chat recap.
All you got to do is just participate in the chat.
Chat. All right, go ahead.
John is dressed like he's going to try to sell you a new phone service plan. Bill Colarulo from the YouTube chat.
Oh. I look like I work at an AT&T store?
I think you look more Verizon.
Verizon?
Yeah. A&T. I think AT&T is more uniform.
T-Mobile?
Nah, you can have any pink.
No, I think they're all uniform.
Are they?
Right. What do you think, Ray?
I was going to say Apple, but I don't think Apple does the collared shirts anymore. I think
No,
more
they're
relaxed
hipsters.
fits. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hipster store.
You have to be cool.
I did the cell phone change for the whole family from one service to another. 2 visits, 6 hours apiece.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm fine with staying with
Worse than buying a car.
Oh, my God. Why'd you change it?
Saved a lot of money.
So was it worth it?
I was with the other company for 23 years, and it was worth it.
Yeah?
Yep.
All right, what's next?
Would an Eagles loss surprise you guys on Sunday? And if they lose, what will the reason be? Matt from South Jersey.
Oh, San Francisco scores more points.
Would I be surprised? Yeah, at this point I would be surprised. Would I be shocked? No. Nothing would shock me.
No, I don't have like a supreme level of confidence. I don't.
Moderate?
Last year I had a high level of confidence.
Yeah.
This year I don't. And this isn't like the old Negadelphia, like we always get there and, don't get it done. No.
I don't think anybody should have a supreme level of confidence. Moderate.
Not based on this season. But as Herm said, though, the regular season's over.
Yeah.
There's a whole new ball game. There's a whole new set of pressures to come with it. And this team is battle-tested.
All right, Ray, hit me.
Harbaugh's phone has been blasting more than Ray Dunn's on a Saturday night. Kieran from the YouTube chat.
That true, Ray?
Sure, why not? Let everyone believe it.
Everybody's calling. Well, it's not a bad thing to believe, Ray.
No, it's not.
All right. Everybody's just insinuating that you have like a hotation almost, right? Is that true?
I've never heard it called that.
Did you call it a hotation?
it's not my. I didn't originally make it up. It's from
that
a
would have
song.
been brilliant if you did.
Yeah,
That'd have been right up there with the Wentz wagon.
All right, what's next?
Why are we even talking about these non-issues with the coach? Love him or hate Nick, he wins. Same with Jalen. The players love Nick too. Stop making up non-stories just to stir the pot for no reason. Jim from the YouTube chat.
Yeah, Jim, but we're not stirring the pot.
No, we're having a discussion.
Yeah, I don't know. We could come in today and we could do what he did yesterday, or I could cook up some other story or whatever. But something that hit you driving in that John said was about disrespecting Nick Sirianni. Right?
Yeah.
What exactly are we stirring up?
Yeah, and look, I just never have attached to him.
Oh, whatever. I don't care. What's next?
Subway is a totally unacceptable sandwich shop. Subway is literally the Kevin Patullo of sandwiches. MBD from the YouTube chat.
All right.
YouTube chat segment brought to you by Subway.
I don't think Subway.
No, they don't.
Whatever. Whatever with Subway. I'm not even going to rip Subway. Yeah. But,
but you're also not going to eat it.
What would be? Do we have any other sandwich shops that advertise? I got to watch this here.
Wawa.
Oh yeah, Wawa. Wawa's the best.
Of Wawa.
Wawa's got universal standing.
Yeah, for sure.
Except for these mongrels in Western PA that are Sheetz people.
I drove past the Sheetz. Where was I coming back from? Oh, we went up to Blue Mountain Tubin, and coming from Blue Mountain. That's only for me an hour and 20 minutes. There was a Sheetz, and I didn't pull in because it wasn't convenient and I didn't need anything.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
You didn't get a Sheetz of pizza?
A Sheetz is a nice change because it's a different menu. You get fryer stuff. It's it's different stuff. You wouldn't want to eat. Wawa's much better to have around us than Sheetz is.
Yeah. What's the place, the chicken one?
Royal Farms.
Yeah, Royal Farms.
There's a Royal Farms right up the street from me.
Yeah, there's now going to be a Sheetz up the street from you, too.
Oh, in Limerick.
Yeah.
That's right, on
That's
Ridge
an
Pike.
outrage.
I'll check it out.
That's an absolute outrage.
All right, Jason, good stuff. Coming up next, Unfiltered.
Are we done?
Ricky, we're done, man.
Wow.
Ricky Batalico, Bill Colarulo. See ya.
Now on